I'm taking it slow, just go with the flow. I'm taking it slow, but I just want more. I'm taking it slow, just go with the flow. I'm taking it slow, my knees on the floor. I'm begging for more. It's you I am. You took me to see Versailles in the middle of July. I'm falling to the deep end, giving into my feelings, afraid to go on this ride. I'm scared to crash inside. This time I might be speeding. I'm taking it slow, but I just want more. I'm taking it slow, just go with the flow. I'm taking it slow, but I just want more. I'm taking it slow, just go with the flow. I'm taking it slow, my knees on the floor. I'm begging for more. It's you I am.
All right, welcome everybody to Week 5 matchup for first place between GCCE Tanukis and Miami Vice. My name is Fel. I'm casting alongside here with Ghost in Space. Ghost, how are you doing today?
Doing all right. Long time no see to the Murk Esports Academy scene, guys. It's been a bit, actually months since I've been around, but hey, I'm looking forward to what we got going tonight for this IBSG series. Two teams looking like, at least on paper, some of the strongest we got here in IBSG, but we'll see.
Yeah, and it has been GCZ Tanukis has been basically just running roughshod over everybody. I know the record says 3-1, but week 1 they ended up telling on themselves because they had an illegal player on their team, and even since then, the integrity does not fail them because they have just run roughshod over everybody that they've faced. They always look very well polished, everything like that. And Miami Vice on the other side, 3-1 as well. And at times they look like they don't know what they're doing, and at other times they look like nobody can touch them. As we get into this draft, we see the Scion banned away from Basket Bread and Sivir, and then of course the Victor over on the mid side here. Is there any like specific comps or anything that you'd like to see from these teams as we're rolling in, as we see the Nocturne getting banned out as well?
And man, I just want to see if my little 5 minute ordeal still exists, because every time I casted a game, for the most part, the previous season, somehow, some way, all hell breaks loose. And I mean a massive team fights in like the first 5 minutes. So we're gonna see if it keeps going. But for myself, like I just want to see what the teams have to offer. Like I said, I've been away for a bit, a lot of personal life things. So I'm curious to see what's going on and how this team perform.
Okay, well, if this season has been anything, you're gonna get your wish. You're gonna be play call. You're gonna be play by playing and not gonna get a second to breathe. As we see the Melio coming out over for the side of Miami Vice, Moby White on the Enchanters has been really, really strong. Basically, keeping his lane opponent alive in the team fights and just doing the work from the backside. As these bans or these picks are coming in quick, we see Noto on the top side is going to be taking that Ornn, and Zeri going to be put into the hands of iGank, who is subbing in for Trey, and they've moved Trey over to the mid lane unless uh, the things are the graphics are off. And then over for the side of Tanukis, we see Control. The Ash for the bot lane, the Mordekaiser answer to the Ornn, and Viego in the jungle.
Now, speaking of these picks, man, for the side of sorry, Miami Vice on this blue side, I'm very curious who they're going to pick up mid lane in the second rotation, because especially picking up Zeri here, already got the scale factor. But you also have Ornn, weak side warrior. But I'm like really curious what they're going to pick for Trey in mid. Like, it's going to have to be something very aggressive, along with the jungle pick to go and coincide with that, to be able to just help them get through this early to mid game. So Zeri can scale up, have time to scale up, and they'll be able to
Mm-hmm.
play out these fights.
Yeah, and it should be good. As we see the Rumble and the Ori taken out away from Tanukis, and the Aurelia and the Yone. We do not want to see the Yone in the hands of uh, of Miami Vice. Very strong for them. We see the Braum coming out, so it does look like the Tanukis is looking like they want to sit back and play the normal style fights, front to back, get people low, and get Viego a chance to get in some resets. As we see the Jarvan coming out for Miami Vice, along with Hui in the mid lane. We saw Hui. Basically, I think might have been the first pick for the season yesterday. Showed up really, really well on Donny B's, and then the Cho'Gath to round it out. So it should be Cho'Gath Hui in the mid lane. What do you like there? Do you like the range and the poke from Hui, or do you like the consistent just build and scale from Cho'Gath?
I have a little bit of mixed emotions looking at both of these comps, because I mean, Wade is cool, but I feel like you have to play this early game for, if you're on the side of Miami Vice, where I not to be perfection, but very well to basically make it all the way to later in the half of the game. Because you pick Jarvan, pick that aggressive pick
Mm-hmm.
Wave, but we all know Wave, he does some damage early, but it's not going to do as much till he scale. Like, not
Mm-hmm.
going to do too much. So look at these comps, how the way they draft them. I see it's gonna be a rough early game if they be able to actually get be able to get Viego going through this boss side, especially with Ash Braum, a lot of harass, be a lot of CC, be able to come out for the Braum pass of Ash with being able to slow already too. It's gonna be a pain to get through this early game if Tanukis play this correctly.
Yeah, and as we've seen with Tanukis, whether they're picking lane dominance, they're picking soft side lanes that just want to scale and get to the back. We've always seen them just have a cool head, always have a plan. They're usually great wave management, first to the objectives, and always controlling it. And their team fighting is also really good. Miami Vice, on the other hand, they're usually like an all or nothing. They're either in it and they're winning it, or they're just, one after another making sloppy plays, but they always seem to come back. And even when they have a 10K gold deficit, they find a way to get that one fight that puts them back in the game. And momentum is Miami Vice's strongest thing, at least as I've seen so far. So when Miami Vice, even if they're down and they're in their base turtling, they seem to pick that one fight. And we'll see if it can go up against Tanukis here, who always just have a solid game plan, solid execution, and everything else. My pick for game one, I think, is going to be Tanukis, just because I haven't seen them falter yet. So I'm just going to go on the pass. But is there something in here that makes you want to go for Miami Vice for the first game?
I mean, I think if Mordecai is literally Urameshi just owes Noto out of every single fight, I mean, every single one should go to Tanukis unless they just completely fumble and just, we just have Zuri moments left and right.
Yeah, well, it will be interesting with Emilio and seeing what he can do to keep this Zeri, keep everybody just going. The Ash ult, the Braum ult, everything else. If he's got the good fingers on that ult and he can, keep the shields and the healing going, this is doable for them. It's not like they're completely outdrafted. But we'll see as we get into it. But yeah, so Tanukis looking like they just want to do the solid comp, and like you said, just keep that Mordekaiser. Urameshi is really, really strong in the top lane. I think between him and Aldux, they're probably the strongest two top laners in the game. But we did see Noto actually go against Aldux and make him look pedestrian in the 2 wins that they had over LFA. So Noto, nothing to slouch on there. I think it's going to come down to the Viego versus the Jarvan, who gets the early aggression, who gets the good plays, and then who starts stacking the objective, right? Like in this IBSG, whoever gets the first objective is usually getting the second and the third and the fourth, and it just sort of snowballs out of control. So we'll see if either team can like staunch the bleeding, maybe make cross map plays, things like that, as we get into it here. So
speaking of objectives play too, for advice, I mean, they're gonna have to just give away something. There's not really much they can play for in the early game as far as objectives are considered. Because think about it, if he goes down to Dragon and you have Jazeera, and you're not really gonna win much team fights. You go up to Void Grubs and Rift Herald. Well, Ornn, cool. Yeah. Meanwhile, you have to deal with Viego. You have to I mean, Jarvan, sure, you can get damage out with him, but it's just what you have to match up against. The best as far as early games, really just try to establish some vision and basically try to limit what they can grab. Right. That's literally the best bet for the early game, or else, in all honesty, Tanuki should be able to run away with it.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Maybe try to stall out that first dragon, and then maybe get it to go to where grubs are spawning and the dragon hasn't been taken, and then just see where Tanukis goes, make a reactive play, things like that we haven't really seen too much, but we are getting into it, and I will hand it over to you for the play-by-play. And excited for game one for first place, GCCE Tanukis versus Miami Vice. Let's get into it.
Yes, sir. For your week 5 IBSG Murk Esports Academy battle for first place, as a matter of fact. Fun fact for you guys. But like I said, like it's already said, we're hitting the rift for this game, one of this best of 3 series. As we see, the Tanukis, they're probably looking for some cheesy plays in this bot lane. They're all 5 moving to this tribe, but you're going to get spotted out by the ward. As C-Trey already backing up, so not really much going to be gotten and found there. Just maybe some information on the side of Tanukis, but that's about it.
Yeah, and I really like that word. I like the safe placement. Just place it, get out of there. No reason to even try this. The level 1 is obviously in the favor of Tanuki. So good play by Trey on the Zeri to just get that vision, get out. And then we're just gonna go sort of to a standard, jungle pathing here, and we'll sort of meet up in the middle, but I don't think much action is going to come out. It's kind of what I expect from Vice and Tanuki.
Yeah, and for the side of Vice, gonna get the war down to Raptors to be able to see where this Viego's gonna be starting, and they're gonna spot him out. So they know he's gonna be starting on his red side, but gonna be literally on the red buff itself as he makes his way up. I'm really interested to see how this mid lane goes.
Yeah, I think
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think early on, with the poke and everything else, Cho'Gath just kind of has to keep the wave going, get as much CS as you can. If you can end, the laning phase like pre-6 or right at 6, and you can be within 15, 20 CS of this way, especially if there's no jungle, then, that's a huge win for the Cho'Gath.
Oh, 100%. As you see, just standing lane and a little bit of battling going on the mid lanes. Pandarum trying to get some damage down to Renegade, forcing her back a little bit off the wave. Level 2 advantage going to be over to the side of the bot lane of Tanukis, forcing Trey and Moby White to have to back up. Now, and just standard stuff, not really much going on in the game. Stuff in his top lanes, Mordekaiser and Urameshi just establishing dominance, and Noto forced the flash on the Orin, go out the back and then teleport back in. Or he's going to opt to stay.
Yeah, I mean, he does have the Doran shield, the second wind, grass, but Urameshi just showing his dominance and why he's been so good. The gank coming into the mid lane here too.
It's a dangerous play, but we got the gank in the mid lanes. Panarum gonna be punished for playing so far up for the most part. Not gonna recall. Almost dies, but Renegade unfortunately not ganked. Combined doesn't have the damage to finish him off.
And misses the Q on top of it. Yeah, the flash forward and Pandorum on his Cho'Gath, no panic in his veins there, as he just takes that and just goes with it and just says, I can get out of this alive, and gets away by the skin of his teeth.
Hey, man, he just walked out, no flash and all, man. Just casually walked out of there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you gotta love the confidence that oozes out of the players.
Yeah, no, that's always good to see, especially when, you still have flash. Viego is still there, hasn't ganked yet, so it could be able to turn the tables here in this mid lane for this Cho'Gath and actually get a lead onto a ranged champion would be huge for Pandorum on this Cho'Gath.
I'm just honestly surprised no play was made onto Noto, how low his health bar was, especially. But but it's all, I understand. So it is pretty early. No, I gank on this bottom side on the grubs. As his bot lane is starting to get shoved in, he might be able to actually look for an opportunity, but instead it's going to be resetting. Wow. The Viego basket is going to be taking, mid lane. Renegade taking pretty low, almost, and about a quarter HP left. Pandarum was not letting the gank falter him. He is still playing aggressive and playing up front. That's what I like about these type of games. I love watching IBSG games.
Yeah, and you noted it too with the Scuttle Crab going over to the side. Oh, that's skirmish happened. Scuttle going over to the side of Basket Bread for Tanukis, and then he gets the second one too. So not only did you burn a flash from your mid laner, but you also lost both of the Scuttles, and so a huge win for Tanukis off of the early aggression from iGank on Vice.
Yeah, especially he's 7 CS up at the moment. Gonna be making his way top down again off the reset of his camps. Not really no need to go top at the moment. Mordekaiser is doing pretty well. I don't really see Basket just ganking much. It's like probably 6, where he can actually just be able to finish off people. Mm-hmm. But Noto still fighting back, not letting that early game fall to his mindset at all.
No, losing about a wave of CS because he got a little bit too aggressive, but playing it well, coming back and playing this matchup actually pretty well, considering, like you said, he did end up going as a gank comes in from iGank.
Yep, iGank coming in, but Urameshi, the shield's gonna keep him alive. He tries to go and see get an outplay and get a counter and get a kill, but unfortunately not gonna be able to get it. But as we look in mid lane, Panero just getting damage down onto the way. It just seems like it's just more so just a back and forth there. Not really much to see at the moment.
And like you were talking about in the pregame about the objective splitting and everything like that, we do see now that Viego is taking a free dragon while his lane is pushed up, like sneaky dragon over here should get it for free. I don't think Jarvan's even going to check this. They have no idea that this is going on. And Tanukis, once again, showing that their macro is super strong.
Yeah, and realistically speaking, Jarvan, even if he could spot that out, it's not really much he's going to be able to do with the players he has. Speaking of not players, but sorry, champions. But speaking of those, as Basket, I did look for a gank on Renegade. They're going to get a tad bit damage down, get about half HP, but Renegade's going to walk out with his life. Flash is coming up momentarily too, not long from now. So, walks right into the Cho'Gath Q. That's 3 damage, baby. We don't want those.
No, that always feels bad. And, the difference in the ganking here, Basket Bread, 1 gank to 2 basically here. And both of those ganks, worked out well. Hui has to back here, doesn't have the flash, doesn't have anything. No kills are given over. But as we saw earlier, Jarvan ganking and doesn't get anything. Goes up top, flashes, doesn't get anything. And so, at what point as a jungler do you start to feel like, maybe this, just isn't working out, but you can't really change.
Speaking of a jungler, here comes the gank of topside flash used by Urameshi. Odo with the ultimate call the Forge God, and here comes Gang Cataclysm. Finish him off, and first blood over to Nodo on the own.
Oh, and that is so huge. 3rd time's a charm. You finally get it. And I don't even know if the Jarvan was required, but getting the assist always feels good. You could always be like, I got your late ahead, So, well played by Nodo to just realize, the timing of that. And getting the ult off, hitting, burning the flash, and still getting the kill feels really good on this Ornn to be 1-0 against somebody that early on had you almost dead to rights.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And I was gonna piggyback off of what you were saying about Jarvan, but we had that little moment come in. So, but yeah, outside of moments like those where a member of Tanukis is already low or about less than half HP, it's really hard as Jarvan to really gank in this game. They get successful ganks off like that, especially as far as for kills. Mainly because it's not really many times aside from that one. Theoretically, you should be able to find them because you're not really going to have a lanes that you can really just have set up already to be able to just come in and just make something happen. In that case, Urameshi and Nodo has been playing the aggro the entire game, and Urameshi bit off a little bit more he could chew, but then again, he also didn't have any vision on that river, so he didn't know. But as we look bot lane, here comes his walked up on by the bot lane, and Ikugi and Data, but they're going to find a kill. Ikugi flashes for no reason, but hey, the kill is a kill, and Renegade goes down 1 kill over to Tanukis.
Yeah, and well played. Just press the go button on the Ashe and having the follow up from the Braum. Very well executed. And I was just about to say that I love the fact that Vice realized, hey, we're losing this lane. Let's lane swap. Let's put 2 ranged into the Cho'Gath, take control of these grubs, and they make a great macro play. And you would think Renegade on this way would be a little safe, but just steps up a little bit too far forward, takes the Ashe arrow, follow up with Braum, and gets double stunned. And now with no flash, are they going to be able to find this Ashe?
Okay, rap guy, man, rhyming in the booth. I like it. No, I'm joking. I'm messing with you, but you see in mid lane, there's more poke going on. As you already said, Void Grubs over to the side of Miami Vice. But they do get the counter and get the kill in exchange for the objective. And especially a kill on the way, it makes it a lot harder for him to scale because he already was a little bit behind in CS in terms of actually matching up against the Cho'Gath himself. As we look in top lane, J4 is nearby again, but we got a gank going on the bot too. Engage on to Moby, having the flash with the melee, but ultimate comes out for Viego. Would they be able to finish off the support? They will. Here comes the reset, but we got more chaos going on the top lane too. Here comes Call. Actions on both sides of the map, but Call the Forge God will miss and will be brought into the Delph realm with Mordecai. Nodo getting back to the turn, but keep in mind, Urameshi still has a good amount of HP, still pretty healthy. Here comes our gang, but both sides are trying to run, but Urameshi brings them back, and Cataclysm had to be utilized to keep Mordecai from finishing them off. Urameshi with the 2v1. You gotta love to see it. Unfortunately, no kills up in the top lane, but in bot lane, the chaos has unfolded, and Viego did get a kill. So gold lead still over to the side of Tanukis. A little about 1.1k at the current moment, but it's not nothing to just worry about at this second.
Yeah, it's a very unselfish play there from the Jarvan, as you said, basically saving Ornn, using his ult, and then flashing away. Like that flash has so much agency on Jarvan, where you can EQ, then flash and get the knock up and secure kills. But unfortunately, had to use it to keep his Ornn safe. So now the Vision Ward over from Basket Bread, not a very good one. It's not going to spot out the bottom ward as he starts up this dragon. Miami Vice is going to see this, and are they going to have enough time to respond is the question.
I don't think they will. I mean, as far as the comp of Miami Vice, they need to be on the river first for objectives for it to be really effective. Because they have to walk into the side of Tanukis. It's not only going to be extremely dangerous, but also at the same time, iGang gets the steal, but he is stuck and he's gonna lose his life. Third kill over to Tanukis as they look for more Renegade. Not gonna, unfortunately, I won't be stunned by Basket, but still being chased. Only gonna lose a little bit of HP, almost get caught by the Cho'Gath Q, but only J4 loses life. But the steal for the Mountain Drake, more stats over for a Jarvan or Ornn. Hey, that sounds like happiness a little bit. Oh, Renegade looking for the kill. He gets the ultimate, not able to get the kill on top of Panorama. Is going to land the Q, and he's going to walk away after taking almost 3 tower shots with the kill.
Oh, man, huge play by the Cho'Gath. Renegade almost gets out of there on this way. As we see, he, just stepping a little bit too far back, putting himself in a bad position there, but had the outplay from the beginning as Pandorum gets a little bit over aggressive on Cho'Gath, but turns it around and just barely missteps and takes that Q. Unfortunately, you don't get the chomp stack, but still, the kill for Cho'Gath is also huge. So,
speaking of looking for kill, here comes iGank in the bot lane. As now, Enchanted Crystal Arrow going to be utilized, keep from Cataclysm from coming out, but he's going to be able to get close enough anyway. And now Ash is going to be dead, as now Braum is going to try to run away, but going to get flagged and dragged, knocked up again, forced to burn flash, and he's going to make it out with his life. But it should be a couple of turn plays over to the side of the Zeri and Emilio over at Miami Vice.
Yeah, and they're going to need that. And this, even though the first 2 ganks didn't work out well for him, he is just no relenting on this Jarvan, just do it time after time again, and it's starting to pay off. As you said, they're going to get a couple turret plates, catching up in gold, losing a little bit of his jungle here. Viego making a very smart play to take this. As there's nothing else you can do. So the scaling from the Zeri is coming out now. Does have the Yuntals 1-0, tied with CS, and now tied with plates as well. So pretty big for the side of Miami Vice here to get that.
But not only speaking of away in the top lane, before I even get to talk about the bot lane anymore, Noto being well thought about Urameshi trying to get away, he should be able to. I mean, Mordekaiser, he did have ultimate, but chose not to spend it. iGank is going to be up there, but Viego Basket not going to be on any ward, but iGank should see him now. He's going to flag and drag his way out of there. And no more chaos for the moment. I'm honestly surprised. Oh, Urameshi, here comes the Delph for him, and now Noto shall be punished for his transgressions of stepping up too far. That's another kill over to the side of Tanuki.
Moby White over it, having the same fate here. Oh, actually, Moby White using the ult a little bit too early, and Pandorum finally gets the chomp that he wanted earlier on. So big ult stack for him there. And a free kill for the side of Tanukis, as that Melio must be tasty.
Well, I know what else is tasty is Ash in the bot lane is Waze trying his hardest, Renegade trying to land all the damage he can, but Enchanted Crystal is going to come out along with the damage from the ultimate. Trey, and don't step too far, buddy. You got about three sharks waiting in front of you.
Yeah, and unfortunate for that Ash, really well-timed Enchanted Crystal Arrow. However, Renegade was just on the outside of that. If he takes one more turret shot with the slows, Ikigui on this Ash could have chased him down.
Oh, no. Speaking of going in on Ash, iGank is around, goes for the flash, flag and drag. Panda runs there by itself, but Renegade barely has any mana, but he does have flash. He's going to be able to walk away, and that's a kill and a turn over to the side. Miami Vice with Dragon coming up in 1 minute and 3.
Yeah, and really, really well done by this Jarvan once again. Just the amount of aggression that he is showing is paying off so much. As Trey with the Q ends up hitting, but they get the free turret there. over to the side of Miami Vice, they're cut this gold lead back down to 1,000 deficit, and they're poised to actually be in the lead for this dragon fight. But Trey is backing up on this Zeri, so going to reset, going to try to get some items to be able to fight this out as we see the dragons up. Coming up soon in 20 seconds. Both teams starting to posture over here. We see pinks coming out. Neither top laner has their teleport, so Mordekaiser or Meshi on this Mordekaiser just coming down now, and they want this dragon.
They definitely do with Trey and Renegade trying to get Pryor on this mid lane, try to shove the wave out, have it pushing so they can be able to possibly make their way down without a worry in the world of somebody trying to push in their mid T1. But control the river over on the side of the Tanukis. Should be able to get this drag fairly easy. Should be able to force back Miami Vice. We're going to see if they're going to try to force as a massive Q landed on a Moby, doing a lot of damage with Dragon. Will it be stolen? Will it not? And Tanukis arrow says no as it land on iGank, and that is Drake over to the side of Tanukis. So much damage being put down, though, from Poke on the side of Miami Vice. Not trying to at least make it see a resemblance of free to, just a little bit. Just give him a little love tap. Well, Rift Herald being dropped in the mid lane as Tanukis look to also take this mid T1 while they're at it before they reset.
And they should get it, but the wave clear from this Hui and Zeri is actually enough. The comp from Tanukis here is like they have so many buttons that they can press to keep Jarvan from being able to steal dragons again. You only get one hero play, apparently.
All right, but Jarvan having to flag and drag his way out of there because he ran straight into a monster with unfortunately, a chomp on cooldown, but
yeah,
he doesn't, it's IBSG. Sometimes they not keep a track of that, but who knows? He wasn't in kill range anyway.
And as I was saying, you have the Cho'Gath ult, you have the Mordekaiser ult to pull Jarvan out if he tries to come in for another hero steal. So the Enchanted Crystal Arrow was the tool that they used this last time to stop Jarvan from being able to go. So a lot of these steals, I don't think he's going to get very many more opportunities. So that's probably the only one he's going to get. But still, really, really well done early on from Miami Vice to just sort of keep the aggression up and at least stay close to even here as we get into the later game where they're going to have a lot of scaling potential and damage on this Zeri and this Hui. So playing it well enough, but we'll see if the macro of Tanukis is enough to just keep Miami Vice down.
Definitely, only time will tell on that. But goal lead over to the side of Tanukis currently still not and less than 1K, so the game is still any man's at the moment. But right now, looking like Ash and Braum being sent to the mid lane after taking down the mid T1. Already have Cho'Gath splitting the ball. Renegade matching up against him at the moment, but Renegade, as the game goes on, looking like he's been having a more tough time, having to burn a lot of that mana for wave clear. Meanwhile, Panoram he's having a fun time. I'm about almost 600 gold over Renegade at the moment on this Cho'Gath.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we see the 2 kills over to the 2 deaths. So, tail of the mid lane here, Pandorum doing really, really well. My only concern is that late game, if you're missing your ruptures, if you're just sort of standing there and you're getting hit by the Hui, getting set up by everything else and just taking all the burns, that could end up being like really bad for him. But as of right now, big old dinosaur sitting here and just kind of having his way in this game. Do you see that the teams are starting to posture over for this Otacon, which is the next objective?
And I will say, though, I think doing well for himself is an understatement, but he's not going to be doing well and not so long. His teleport is already coming in. Here comes 3 members for 1 giant monster as now Cho'Gath is going to die. He's going to take the turn with him, but shut down over to Wade should be very helpful for us get him to go. And now we're going to fight lane. Noto trying to get more damage on Uramesh. He probably was thinking he was in tower range, and unfortunately it was not. But Uramesh is going to be able to walk out with the shield button. This river now with Panoram dead, making it a lot easier every time for Miami Vice to try to work to be able to set something up for this Otacon, which they are now starting.
Yeah, and you're like, at least I got the turret for a kill, but now you're giving the turret over that was barely hanging on in the first place for an Otacon. The extra stats on this are going to be absolutely huge. And with that early Dragon Steel earlier, Miami Vice holding on. Now they're getting this a bad time for a death on Cho'Gath. Pandorum just one little misstep as they are teleporting, and it does look like they're trying to take over this top tower. So they don't get the mid wave, which they, changed over to, but they are going to get the top tower, and they're going to try to push for tier 2 as we see the pings coming out onto that tower.
And they're going to exchange this Autocon for a top tier 1. Of course, not an equal trade, but hey, at least they get something out of it.
Right, and then at this point, you're just trying to make sure that they make a mistake on the side of Miami Vice so that you can keep this up as Basket Bread gets caught, but ults away. It's going to be fine. But
I don't think they have enough damage to kill Basket Break with the Ashe and with the Cho'Gath there anyway. Speaking of that, Basket Break also has 2 kills, or he has Crashing Slayer, a couple of Long Swords and a Pickaxe, and along with the Cho'Gath 2 and 1, already 2 items completed in, and with the Proto Belt, and sorry, this ain't old times, Rocket Belt, and the Rift Maker. I mean, I don't think they'll want to take that fight anyway, realistically speaking.
No, and one thing that I want to note here too, if you look at the top side of the jungle right before that fight happened, the amount of vision that DT Dub is getting on this Braum prior to any objective that they want to take, it is always there. They're seeing every move from Miami Vice before they make it, and the old adage of vision wins games. They're showing that they really care about it and trying to keep this off as the fight is about to begin.
Dragon's almost quarter of the way through. Remember I said Miami Vice had to be on the river first, but now they have to make their way through. Now they have to fight on the back. Here comes the call of the 4. Urameshi almost down, but he took one into the death realm. Fight is going crazy, but Basket in the back line. He's trying to run away from the Ornn, having to get out the fight. Almost dead. Not going to be any resets for the Viego. And Panorum is going to die to the Zeri. 2-0, and Tanukis are on the run. It's now Daytub is going to be the next on the chopping block after the Ashe is going to fall down to. And only lone survivor Basket, unfortunately, going to make it out and watch the rest of his team sit to the gray screen.
Yeah, and he's lucky that they were pressed up and that they don't have that Miami Vice doesn't have vision on this blue side jungle, because he would be dead too if they saw him go back there. A little greedy to take that camp, but you give the dragon away, you lose that fight. What an outstanding engage for Miami Vice by their top laner Noto. The smashing up and hitting 2 people and then getting out, getting that Call of the Forge, and just basically 1v1ing Basket Bread on this Viego, kept him entirely out of there, no resets, and then the rest of the team Renegade on this way, just dishing out tons of damage from the artillery spot. Really, really well played front to back from Miami Vice on that, and this is what I was talking about, the momentum that they get off of these team fights that they choose to take even when they're down, no longer down 3K gold lead. They are playing to their strengths really, really well.
And it just feels like in that fight that it was a lot of probably miscommunication going on the side of Tanukis. I mean, you already had Basket start on the Dragon, almost a quarter HP down, but the rest of the team still lingering around in the jungle area, basically giving that opportunity for Miami Vice to be able to walk through and be able to get and gain control of that river and be able to initiate their fight while their jungle is split off from the rest of the squad.
Yeah,
and now in his bot lane, now Urameshi trying to stay aggressive, but Noto is doing quite a bit of damage. Still, I mean, Ornn is the weak side king for a reason. And Hollow Radiance is upgraded too, along with the Murk tread. So not too much damage coming through, especially 2 Giants builds. So he's pretty beefy.
Yeah, he is, and a nice little small token of a strategy here too, taking that the first part of the Thornmail, and he's basically cutting all the healing that Urameshi wants from this Conqueror spam that he has. So really well done by Noto. I like his itemization. Oh my gosh. There's no
and looking like Noto is going for the kill. Called a Forest God was utilized, but so was the Delph for him to be able to keep him from utilizing the second proc of the ultimate. But Urameshi turning the fight around. Now Noto was on the run looking for the blast cone, but instead of get brought back to hell and blasted back to the fountain. Is now Renegade, like maybe joining his teammates. He gets feasted, shut down to Panorum on the Cho'Gath.
Yeah, and that feels so bad. You just took a huge team fight where you get the objective afterwards, and now you're basically going to free give away this Baron after making 2 bad plays, oversteps, really well outplayed by Urameshi on this Mordekaiser to wait for Noto to use the Call of the Forge God, and then basically be like, oh, nope, we're going to Brazil. You're going to, your choo-choo train can go wherever it wants, but it's not hitting me. A lot of damage mitigated. Really, really well played by Urameshi on this Mordekaiser. And then we didn't see what happened at the top, but Pandorum's still on this Cho'Gath, showing that he is still the mid laner to beat in this series by taking out Hui solo.
So I just want to point out, remember we was hyping up Urameshi, but think about it now. Noto, even though on the weak side, I mean, he's not backing down from the battle. Granted, he, again, Ornn versus Mordekaiser, he's been automizing pretty well, but again, not backing down. And I appreciate that. At least not, what's the phrase I'm looking for? He's not running away from the challenge. And I like what he's doing.
Yeah, he's basically giving him no quarter. Anytime that Noto wants to step up, he's going to have to fight Urameshi. They're matching him in the side lane against him every single time. Pandorum is matching up against Renegade every single time. And now that you have an exposed inhibitor, you're basically giving away, like taking that early, you're basically giving away a lot of extra gold, a lot of extra XP to allow Tanukis to catch up. So if you're not going to be able to put the pressure on, especially after losing the Baron, like, oops. That's why they say don't take the inhibitor until you're ready to push everything else. And Miami Vice, even though the early aggression was going in their favor, now it's starting to bite them in the rear.
It is starting to bite them in the rear, but kill count about even though Miami Vice was able to generate about almost 3K gold lead moments ago, now it's a gold lead right back over to the Tanukis. But I'm like, good Lord, the game is swinging, but I do like the team fights Miami Vice. They have when they actually find their windows of opportunity to be able to make their team operate to the best of its ability. Now, granted, I feel like it's a mistake for Tanukis, but they capitalize on that, and that mistakes are part of the game. So let's see if Miami Vice can find another mistake and find another gap in the plan of the side of Tanukis and take advantage of that again and try to push this game to where probably get another inhibitor, but it might even end the game. But speaking of looking for another fight, Dragon's up at 12 seconds, and now both teams making their way to the river. Moby stuck in the Delph round, trying to run for his little life. Got the campfire up, but it's not going to be enough. Mordekaiser doesn't like stories, but he likes being a ghost to somebody's past. And now Melia over to the Delph screen. Bye-bye, Moby, and Dragon should be freely over to the side of Tanukis.
Yeah, and you see the pings coming out there like, hey, clear this bottom lane out so that we can't get a flank in from Renegade. Take control of this Dragon. Moby stepping up just a little bit too close there, and they make him pay for it again. And the clean engage and game plan from Tanukis is showing once again. Kills are just about even, one over to the side, but you look at, they have 3 Dragons. They have they get the first Baron, they took the first Rift Herald, so the objective side of Tanukis is in the lead here, and I don't know if they are going to allow Noto to get another strong engage off. Tanukis is one of these teams that learns from their mistakes in game.
As now got a little battle instead of Mordekaiser Ornn, we got Panorama and Noto. As I don't know if you want to take that, Noto. Ultimate is available from Panorama at the moment, with Feast still available, and now no objectives on the board. So freely probably will want to use that there. Why not? Extra gold, but both sides just walk away. It wasn't exactly a wet noodle fight, but I getting spotted out by the Ash E. As they try to fight for vision control around this map, and D-Dub, that man is a sadist. He just wants more. He keeps going back in.
Yeah, he's getting some really proper vision down too. And, we see for Moby White, he's got a 95 vision score, but it always seems like wherever they want to be, Tanukis has the vision where they want it and where they need it. So not just like vision score, throwing it out there, but like actually being efficient with it and clearing well, clearing safely, not stepping up and getting caught out, kind of like Moby has done a few times now with this Mordekaiser being the last. But yeah, Tanukis is just playing this game really well. And, as long as they don't allow Noto or iGank to get like a 3-4 person engage, they should be poised to handle these team fights. So we'll
So
see.
I think that big worry now, especially the Zeri being 3-0 and now on 3 items with an upgraded Unitop, is mainly like trying to keep Trey under wraps. Like, don't let him have a Zeri moment. Because at this point now, Zeri, again, 3 items, fairly scaled up, should be able to do a lot in these team fights, especially if left unchecked. And on the side of Tanukis, they don't have like a Jarvan. They don't have somebody that can just dive deep in the back line aside from Viego, but he's not going to want to do that without the backup of the rest of his team. And granted, we could just get cataclysmed. I mean, pretty much put in the cage if you use ulti early just to get to the Zeri, it's going to present problems. So I'm just curious how the way Tanuki's going to actually team fight from this point forward to be able to deal with that issue. As Call the Forest God is coming out, but the second R is going to be missing because iGank was taken to the death realm. Welcome to Brazil. Gonna be able to flag and drag his way over the wall, be able to survive. But here comes the rest of Tanukis, be able to force back Miami Vices. Now Noto just taking a little bit of punishment. Chanting Chris, the arrow goes wide, but here comes he's up there by. Keep in mind, like I said, Trey is still back there, left unchecked, be able to get damage down freely as the side of Tanukis is just walking straight into him. Possibly looking to actually try to counter engagement, though. They're gonna let it go as Cataclysm was still available, though Call of the Forest God was already expended. So they can still look for a fight.
They can, and I think they should here, I mean, you look at the health bars, it's almost full to half, if not like, 1/3 on the side of Tanukis, and they realize this now, and Baron is the call, and I think it's the right one, but you are leaving it up for a 50-50. Urmeshi can get in there, and his ult is almost up to bring iGank over into the Death Realm, and then just have Basket Bread come in and yoink this Baron, say thanks for the leash, but, they're fighting, and Tanukis is just waiting, trying to buy time for this Ashe and this Braum to get down here.
And speaking of that, bear in mind, Cataclysm comes out, Basket Bread is going to take it low for the feast, but they're going to just completely turn away from the Baron and get another kill. Noto is going to find the Mordekaiser. Payback for all the damage from laning phase as now the last remaining 3 going to be on the run. But Panorama going to get way ultimate. He's going to force the flash away, but here comes the rest of Miami Vice. Pull the badges up, baby. It's time for a Enchanted Crystal going to land to be able to stop the chase. I was about to say something, but ultimates fly out. You got to change your tone a little bit. But it looks like they're going to be turning the eye from the Baron. It was just the bait, all the ruse, and now the inhib and the game should be all over to Miami Vice.
Right, and originally on that Baron play, it looked like they were splitting, not knowing what they were want to do. It almost looked like they had no idea whether they wanted to take the Baron or fight this fight. But like you said, all the ruse, they end up going in on this is trying to make the hero play. They might be a little bit too far forward here as the resets are going to come out for Basket Bread.
Yeah, Basket Bread's going to get another reset. I don't know what the side of Miami Vice was doing. They just stopped hitting the turn and just went more for the champions instead of ending the game. So now, granted, iGank and Trey are dead, but Mordekaiser is up along with the Braum. Would it be able to actually survive? Noto's like go down, but the game is still going to be over as Renegade was able to finish it out because he wasn't taken to Brazil, but his tank was. I didn't understand that one.
Really well played by Miami Vice. They just caught Tanukis with their pants down after that fight. Instead of resetting, Tanukis tried to hang around, and that was a bad call. And one thing that I would like to note is Moby White on this Melio, right after they get the first 2 kills on the Baron, he had actually saved his Shirelias so that they were able to close the distance and get on top of that Cho'Gath and basically guarantee the win there. Huge 5-head play there by Moby White on this Melio to really just, give his team the agency to chase that down and get that. And then it just becomes like that. Oh, I need to try to do this. I need to try to do that. And Tanukis just didn't have it up. The Ashe getting caught out by Renegade. They did finally end up taking Trey down on this Zeri, but they did so at the expense of letting Renegade just free fire on this way from the backline. Really, really well played. The chaos is always going to be in Miami Vice's favor. I told you they feed off of that and the momentum they gain. Well played game 1. That game was extremely close, back and forth. This gets me so excited for game 2 and potentially, hopefully, a game 3.
I'm at a loss for words for some of these spots. I feel like this should have been the game over to Tanukis, but mistakes just cost them and they just get ran over for it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So real quick, yeah, just the momentum swings has been Miami Vice's vice, for lack of a better term, this whole time. And Moby White in the chat, hey, it doesn't matter how many times you get caught out, as long as you can make the hero play at the end. Well played to Miami Vice. 1-0 up on Tanukis in the battle for first place in IBSG Week 5 for Murk Esports Academy. We will be right back.
I'm taking it slow, but I just want more. I'm taking it slow, just go with the flow. I'm taking it slow, my knees on the floor. I'm begging for more. It's you I adore. You took me to see Versailles in the middle of July. I'm falling to the deep end, giving into my feelings, afraid to go on this ride. I'm scared to crash inside. This time I might be speeding. I'm taking it slow, but I just want more. I'm taking it slow, just go with the flow. I'm taking it slow, but I just want more. I'm taking it slow, just go with the flow. I'm taking it slow, my knees on the floor. I'm begging for more. It's you I
Ladies and gentlemen,
right.
welcome back. We're in for game 2 of the GCCE Tanukis versus Miami Vice. Guys, for this game 2, Tanukis opted to take blue side, but we do have a substitution. The Dirt and Worms is going to be coming in for a trade for Miami Vice. Let's see how this plays out for the crew, as they already took game 1. All you got to do is win one more time. We're out of here.
Yeah, you could smell that coming in, but Tanukis has not lost a game yet until this. So I'm interested to see how they bounce back from this. The momentum swing, everything resets. You play from a lead, or you win a game and then you start playing like you're still in that spot. So as the rosters change, the champions change, the side change, everything changes for game 2. So it is a legit 0-0 right now. And if Tanukis takes this, then you go into game 3 saying, okay, boys, we got a one and done here. First place means a lot because you get to, basically choose who you're going against for the playoffs. So excited for this one.
I'm excited too. Is now we're heading into draft to see what these squads got cooking up for this game too.
Yeah, interested to see what kind of bans get changed, if any. We see the Nocturne coming out again to make sure that Miami Vice can't get that iGank really, really strong on the Jarvan, but they do not want to see the Nocturne. Scion coming out for Vice. Don't want to see that on Tanukis ever. as
I guess
Panthor
Moby-
was really good.
Moby must have did a really great job in Emilio game one, because now it will be taken off the board along with Yunara. Yunara being pretty good since upon release, and Way being taken off the board also. I mean, I can understand Tanukis just wanted to see some of these picks that they had to face off against the first go around. You know, Way was an annoyance. Granted, was losing early, but the Emilio with the ultimate, that campfire man, kept doing a lot of work for us, like, and for crowd control for the side of Miami Vice, and Moby piloting it. So curious to see how this draft's gonna go. Is Seraphine locked in for the side of Miami Vice? Keep in mind that Kaisa was the first pick of this game too.
Yeah, and they're changing over to the Kaisa, and Moby's going to be sitting on another enchanter on the Seraphine. Plays a lot differently from the Melio. You know, you're not going to be able to win a fight and be at half health, and then all of a sudden everybody stands in a circle and is full again. As we see the Galio coming out for Noto on the top here into a Rumble, Galio Rumble. Who takes that?
I will say this actually, just to make sure to clarify for the viewing audience, because it will feel disingenuous to not let you guys know. For the draft, now, small indie company, right? The client's kind of bugged, so the actual players weren't able to line up in order. So Kaisa wasn't actually the first pick, it's just the first pick on our screen, because that's where the AD carry just had to be able to go. But so don't go roasting each other in the banter chat. No, this is not the and B1 for the game. Just make sure you guys understand that Rumble was actually the B and the blue first pick, blue side. So
and then it was Galio Jarvan for R2 and R3.
Now we did have a Mumu Kaisa for B2 and B3. That did happen, so it wasn't too far off. But just make sure you clarify for you guys.
Yeah, and so even though we know what's coming out, we'll try not to spoil it too much over here. As we see the Pantheon and the Renekton bands coming out. And the Ari Aurelia coming out for the side of Tanukis. Don't want to see Vice on that. Renegade is going to pick up the Syndra over in the mid lane. And the Thresh over for the side of Tanukis. So Thresh, Kaisa, really strong. And my favorite pick of this draft right here, the Silas, is going to be, he has so many strong ults to pick up. He's going to be able to take a Galio ult, Jarvan ult, like everything that he's going to want to do are at his fingertips. And even though Trey is gone and it's Dirt and Worms now, they're going to stick with the Zeri. So Seraphine Zeri should be a little bit more aggressive in the bot lane. They should be able to push a little bit better into Thresh and Kaisa instead of just letting Ashe and Braum push them around in the bot lane. But extremely different comps, different play styles are going to have to be done around here. Basket Bread on an actual like control tank jungler instead of the Viego. Who do you like here?
I love this Silas pickup, man. It feels like every time he has Galio ultimate, that's going to be hell to pay. And with a Mumu alongside, just one, and Mumu goes in, he ults, here comes the Galio ult flying in here. It just makes you feel good to just be able to do something like that, especially you have a Rumble to be able to drop the equalizer on pose and onto Miami Vice. It just, the chain, not the chain, but just the combo you can run, especially even while Galio clicks on, I mean, still set somebody up. Basically, if somebody doesn't die, and like 2 to 3 people don't die in like the first couple of seconds of Miami Vice, Tanukis, I don't think they did their job with. I'm looking at you, Panda Room.
Right, and if we can see him pilot a champion like Cho'Gath and make it look like mechanically awesome, I can't wait to see what he can do on this Silas. I also really like Tanuki's draft on this one. I think they have a perfect answer. Nobody seems to have an answer for Galio in this league, but Silas kind of is, right? It's almost like the Malphite Silas matchup where if there's a Malphite on the other team, you just pick Silas and you just steal his ult and you win. I kind of feel like the same thing, like you were saying. Anytime that he can pick Galio's ult up, he's going to be able to use it and just turn fights right back around.
I will say also keep this in mind too. Granted, we talked about him, but he did Banner basically made Cho'Gath like God's gift to Earth game 1 and laning phase. But still, for the side of Miami Vice, they can still fight pretty well. So much CC be able to put on top. Because really, in all honesty, aside from Death Sentence and Banish Toss, Curse of Sad Mummy, and then whoever old Silas takes. They don't really have that much, and they don't really have that much in terms of hard CC itself.
Right.
Whereas we have the encore again, and we also have encore. We consider QE maybe, but it's a little stuff. If I have to count that out, so I have to count Silas E.
Mm-hmm.
But just to be able to stack it on top of Jarvan going in, and Galileo also be able to use his own ult too. And
Right.
basically in this game, if the side of Tanukis cannot get to Zeri in these fights, I imagine that it's just pretty much going to be Zeri having a fun time. And we saw in game one that decided Tanukis they had trouble getting to this area, but this is a different pilot now, so things could be a tad bit different for us positioning and such. But we just have to see.
Right, and I'm really excited to see the Moby positioning. As the Galio ult comes in, you can sit there and go either top or bottom, or above or below him, and then be able to line up that ult because you just ult the Galio, and everybody on the other side of him is going to get charmed up, ton of damage, ton of just CC, and then disengage the shields. Everything that Moby's been doing well, he gets to do again here. So excited to see this one. We'll see if the macro play or the momentum play wins out in game 2.
I can't wait to see these team fights. Oh, I cannot wait to see these team fights, man.
I know it's going to be crazy, especially once we get into the mid game. After a couple of objectives are down, what I do want to see is a little bit better awareness on the side of Miami Vice, not getting caught out, not mispositioning, not overextending for wards. And let's see if they go for another invade here early for Tanukis. The last one didn't really work out. Trey did an excellent job of just making sure that nothing happened on the 5-man stack from Tanukis, but we'll see what they do here. Maybe since their level 1 is a lot stronger, maybe they try to catch them on one. That's the best thing, is when you see 5 people coming in and you get a 5-0 because you were ready for them. Interested to see that as well, the early game.
Well, guys, as we are looking to get started with this game too, I hope you went to the bathroom. I hope you got your water break or girlfriend, boyfriend break, whichever one. I don't know. Some people like me, you single, you kind of just have to kiss the mirror and say what's. But jokes aside, go ahead and get your breaks in, guys, because once we hit this riff, this game is going to be on and cracking, ladies and gentlemen. As you now see, we're hitting the riff for game 2 of your week 5 matchup of GCCE Tanukis versus Miami Vice.
All right, let's see what kind of level 1 we get out of this. As Tanukis did try to pull it off early on. They do have a lot of engaged tools at level 1 and a lot of sustained damage between the Kaisa, the Rumble, lockdown with the Thresh, and Silas can really mess things up in the back line. And but it does look like we're going to get the standard just 5 point from both teams. Neither one wants to give away an advantage early. So I think it's probably the right idea. I would have liked to have seen Miami Vice sort of stack up somewhere and try to catch and then maybe roam together to get the vision. But looks like we're just going to get standard 5 point, nothing really too big from the beginning.
Nothing too big at all. Nothing too big at all. But like I said, I haven't said this before actually, but the Galileo in the top lane that responds to the Rumble. I mean, I'm more interested to see which side is going to opt to hit top lane first. Because if you're on Tanukis, if you're literally basket bread, you need to get your Rumble ahead.
Yes.
And I'm just curious to see how soon he's going to be able to get up there. Because he's also starting this blue side first. Of course, Moo you're going to have to for the most part. It's burning a lot of mana. But like I say, you don't have to. You don't necessarily. But it helps you out a lot. But he has choices, especially with Kais in the bot lane. Majority of the time when teams opt to pick that champion, they want to opt for going for these dragons. But again, with Rumble, my eyes is on basket. I know I said a lot of words there, but get the point.
Yeah. And ooh.
Death sentence landed on the Moby, but more damage done to D-Dub. There's a little bit of a punishment for it.
Yeah, DT Dub taking that, kind of hitting the wrong person there. And I like what you were saying about this. iGank is actually clearing from bottom to top, so he's going to have precedence on this top lane. And as much as you want your Rumble to be safe and get him ahead, iGank on this J4 is going to want to shut him down. And so, you get into like the little mini metagame almost of we need to get Galio safe and ahead, and Tanukis should be feeling the same way about their Rumble. So
And
I
that's
think
what
a
I was,
lot of attention is going to be paid there.
and that's what I was curious about. If Basket on this move was going to opt to try to take a couple of camps and go for like a cheesy gank to try to help the Rumble and get ahead in lane, or if he was going to opt to just go and go from bottom to top to bottom with the clear. It could have went either way, but Uramesh is just taking a lot of damage from Nodo on this Galio. It's not gonna be an easy time, especially once and when Galio has a shield up.
Yeah, and I actually really, really love this Galio pick. I know it was the R1 for them, but it ended up working out in their favor. You have an AP jungler, an AP mid laner, and an AP top laner. Go ahead.
And speaking of Galio, Uramesh, he's probably gonna have to flash away. Flash is suspended. This reminds me of the last game where somebody had to spin Flash very early in the top side. Last time was Nodo, especially for the amount of aggression being expended in that lane, those first 3 levels. As now we're looking at mid, Panorama just eating a lot of damage, getting comboed on from this Q and this W from Renegade on this Syndra.
Yeah, and Jarvan tries to throw down that spear to stop the back, but it's not going to land, unfortunately, for iGank here. But it is a flashless Rumble. So now Basketbread has to realize this and has to get up there and get the flash out of Galio, because we're seeing now that Galio's damage is actually not just matching, but it's actually beating out Rumble's damage, which not a lot of champions can do. And once he gets a little bit of magic resistance and, starts building into that Hollow Radiance, he's going to be a huge pain to deal with.
Definitely is. You got to keep this in mind, too, that Urim actually opted to go into the teleport instead of the Ignite to try to get this advantage over in lane. So Nodo should have like more and he's going to have more confidence in taking these trades back and forth. Urim, like I said, especially with that magic shield up to be able to just eat more damage from this Rumble. But now, like and one of the things I'm curious about is this mid lane, too, is we see Panorama constantly just being aggressive on Renegade on the Syndra, but can the side of Miami Vice, can they try to keep the Silas down also to try to make sure he doesn't go wild? Because as soon as if he end up getting fed, they're going to have a humongous problem on their hand, especially with him taking the Galio ultimate and be able to utilize, or even Jarvis, to utilize that to try to get to this backline later in the game in a team fight.
Right, or the fact that he's almost 6 here, right? And if Renegade keeps spending so much time at low health, he can steal Syndra's ultimate and just kill her outright. So Pandorum in game 1 actually absolutely dominated the early game, and it's looking like game 2 he's going to do the same thing. But now with Silas instead of Cho'Gath, a lot more hero plays, a lot more damage can be thrown out as we do see a gank forming in mid lane.
Of a play, iGank hovering over mid. The lane's going to be coming, and Flag and Drag is going to come out, but unfortunately going to miss. Silas is going to eat out of the way, and Pandorum's going to look and laugh. But a death sentence is landed by D-Tub on the Moby. But like I said, damage is being constantly put down to stress. It's almost like every time he lands a hook, he's getting punished right another team.
Right, and the only difference is that they have sustain. They have a Seraphine heal every three cash. She's going to be able to W up and get her and Zeri, healed back up here. So we do see the Amumu sort of hovering down on the bot side. DT Dub has landed a lot of hooks, so if he can keep that up and get this Amumu over here, as they're going in for it now.
Oh, speaking of getting the Amumu in, fresh delivery is now the death sentence and banish off last. Moby flashes forward.
I don't know.
Okay, question mark plays there.
I don't know if that's a misclick. It looked like maybe he hit his D and his F at the same time because the heal did come out simultaneously with the flash. So probably a little bit of a misplay. Want that one back at some point,
Look at this damage being done by the Galio. Galio early game damage. People forget about that a lot of times. Like he does quite a bit. And Urameshi is learning that the hard way.
Yeah, good luck trying to stall this wave and get a freeze. Galio's just going to keep coming in there on you.
I can't help the fact that when I saw Moby flash forward, I just remember it was a EU cast, and I think it was Vedius and Medic. Mm-hmm. And I think it was when Giants X was like a thing. And it was like The game was pretty much a clown fiesta, and they literally at the end of the series they pulled out like the red nose and everything. But speaking of red nose, it looked like Moby is gonna be out this time, but Dirty Worms gonna be getting one. He got hooked, but he's gonna barely make it out of detail. Trying to keep walking onto Dirty Worms. This is a little ambitious by yourself, buddy. He gets the kill, but he's gonna lose his life though. But the kill goes to Moby, like 1-for-1 in his bot lane. That was I don't know if you want to give Zeri free gold. But even to be an assist or not, you don't want to give Zeri free gold. I don't know exactly when.
Yeah, that a little bit of aggression. You're like, hey, I got this. I still have a flash. I'm Thresh. I'm tanky. Not that tanky when you're just sitting there taking all the Zeri shots. She does have a BF sword, so can do a little bit of damage. So little over aggressive, but you got the second kill. Maybe you're like, hey, I'll give my life here. We're gonna get the feats of warfare here for the kills. Having faith in your team, something like that. So not the greatest, not the worst play, but could have just pushed in that wave and gotten the XP advantage, but going for it.
And speaking of trying to gain an advantage, Panarum still extremely aggressive. Now, bear in mind, he can still take Unleashed Power. As now we look at this Grubs as Galio Ultimate, he flashed out and then utilized it, but damage. As Urameshi's gonna find himself a double kill, and now Feats of Warfare over to the Tanukis and Rumble. 2 kills now.
And they stole the Grubs. Like, oh my god, like what a play by Tanukis there. Sees the Galio flash out, he ults up and he waits and holds that down, and Amumu just sitting there holding them in the spot while the entire Rumble ultimate is going. They just took so much burn damage there, and it took them so long to kill the Amumu that it just worked out so well and perfectly for Tanukis there. Great play by Urameshi on this Rumble.
And remember I talked about early game, especially like the constant layer of damage. I mean, the CC to be able to allow the Rumble to land easy ultimates being on display there. But enough about that, because now we're looking at detail. But Igakui getting attacked now as I gank, landing the flag and drag, as now Encore is going to hit one, but not the other, as Kaiser's going to be able to make it out. But the Thresh, not so much, but the teleport comes in, Panorama. Now, he has Cataclysm. Panorama might get 3. Nope, does it a little bit too early, but still able to trade a kill for a kill. But it is the Jarvan with a Mumu still on the board. And now Dragon is up on the table. But let's see who'll be able to get a hold to it first. But it's looking like Moby Butt is on the line as he's going to die first.
Oh man, Pandorum on this. Silas, you called this as the big pick of the game, and holy crap, is it working out in their favor. Beautiful teleport. It took them just long enough to kill the Thresh that he was able to come in there, secure the kill onto the Jarvan, and then get back in there onto Moby White, who just stays in that into the Tribush just a little bit too long. Max range on that chain to lock him up. And really, really well done by Pandorum on this. This is 2 games in a row now where he is just stunting onto Miami Vice. And that's going to be the second objective going in the way of Tanuki. So now with the earlier game.
Now Dirty Worm's in trouble. Like he's not going to be able to make it out. Rest of the Tanukis and Kaiser are going to get a kill on the board. Now, no longer assist, but the first kill for this champion. I hate that I might be butchering the name. Ikigui. There we go. We're going to say like the Ikigui. That sounds actually funny, though, but yeah. I respect it. But hey, first item still not finished, though. Bear that in mind. So definitely helpful towards the AD carry for the side of Tanukis. Urameshi just taking advantage of having those 2 kills. About a little under a 500 gold lead for this aim for Rumble. So Galileo not completely taken out yet, and especially he hasn't finished his Hollow Radiance either, as we run into a pause.
Yeah, not having your bombies is just so much damage cut out from the Galio. The whole AP Galio kind of a thing of the past, thank God. But yeah, until he gets his Bomby Cinders, these trades are probably going to go a little bit more towards the Rumble, and especially as Rumble gets this Leandries finished up, he does have the Ashes built, and he does have the Haunting guys, so he's just going to be able to trade a little bit better. And now with the 2 kills and the gold lead that comes along with that, since they're even on CS, Galio's going to start having a more and more rough time. And as Basket Bread and starts to show up, or they start fighting over these objectives, I think that it's going to really start to show that the strength of these two champions, the Rumble and the Silas, are really going to start to just project themselves as the main reasons why Tanuki picked them.
And well, guys, this game is already a little wild as it is, and especially at 11 and a half minutes, to be exact, 29 seconds if somebody wants to quote me, whatever. But I literally said in the beginning, I am looking forward to this, guys. I wanted to see the fights, and guys, they are well, Tanukis in particular, they're delivering. And they keep going on like this. They can run away with this game. They're about 1,500 goal lead at the moment. But with objectives, see, what's the timers?
We got about 4 minutes for the next dragon and 3.5 for the Rift Herald. As we saw, the Vice had the grubs, but they only got one of them. They were the first there, but Basket, showed up, stole one, and then they lost the fight and the second grub. So it's 2-1 on the grubs. I believe that Vice got the first one, but yep. So third objective as we get the buffering pause.
Yeah. So at about 3 minutes and 40 seconds, we look for the next big fight, at least what I'm expecting, and I'm looking forward to that because all the ultimates are already being activated. And now, granted, Kaisa Ikugui, have you said it? Sorry, I'm butchering this horribly. Ikugui, he does have his first item. Granted, didn't opt to go for the upgraded boost, got the recurve bow instead. But Zeri is still scaling too. I'm curious to see if Tanukis can actually take this and run away with it. That's what I'm really looking forward to. Can they do it or not? Because if they don't and they allow Miami Vice to stay in this game, Moby, that ultimate miss, but hey, here comes the gank and the bot lane of Tanukis find themselves on the wrong side of the fence, but they're going to be getting out of there. Zooming across the Lantern pulls Ikugui out of there. D-Tub also having a flash over the wall as now the bot lane is still running for the light, but they're back under the tower. And it looks like Miami Vice is going to finally back off.
What a play by DT Dub and Ikugui on this. They were dead to rights, both of them. The Kaisa ult, to have the mental fortitude there to stick with it and say, hey, I can get out. I just have to ult far away from the two people that are trying to just like run me down. He does that perfectly. DT Dub playing the offensive lineman perfectly on this Thresh, gets him out with the Lantern, gets the hook to slow them down, flashes over the wall. Great escape from Tanukis, which should have been 2 kills, and you walk away with nothing.
Man, especially a lot expended for that, too. I mean, Encore and Cataclysm. I mean, you even had this area ultimate being utilized, too, man. That was quite a bit, and good Lord, still not be able to get the kill, even though they had both bot laners from Tanuki's side on the opposite side towards their own tower. In between, that's an impressive escape. I gotta give a round of applause for that.
Yeah,
Ikugui and DT Dub, man, fantastic. Putting on a show.
Extremely impressive. And like you said, the cooldowns are the big part of it. As you know, this game is a little bit more on the aggressive side, is more on Tanukis. Whereas last game we saw Vice, we saw iGank just making play after play.
Oh, wait a minute! I'm sorry to interrupt you, but like Renegade, he got ultimate, but Renegade gonna be able to flash out of there, make it out of a lot of panic room, and Flash still on cooldown, so not gonna be able to finish the kill there. My bad.
No, but you know what? I absolutely love Pandorama on this Silas. He's playing this really well. He's not going too much. He hasn't gotten caught out, even though iGank has hovered this place twice. He always seems to just make the right play and have just enough to get out and do what he needs to do. So he keeps playing like this, even though it's 0-0-0 to 1-0-1. Like, you haven't killed Renegade, but you are in a melee to range matchup, and you're basically a little bit over when you count the kills.
So now objective on the board. Rift Tail started by the side of Tanuki. Dragon's going to be spawning in about 24 seconds, but it looks like Miami Vice not going to be able to respond over to the Rift Herald. So Rift Herald over to Tanuki. It should be a free mid T1, try to move down to the possibly, but we'll see how they utilize it.
Right, and this game is sort of kind of going the way that the first one did, where Tanukis has taken a pretty big lead here.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Flash, we have to be forced out by Panda Rum as Cataclysm I gank. Now bear in mind, Dragon is a big ability being utilized. Keep in mind, Silas ultimate is still up to be able to steal that, and he hasn't stolen Galio ultimate yet. Not sure about Syndra, but we can see where he prioritized with the hijack. But Kaisa and Thresh overstaring their welcome. Bossy tried to dive during worms, and now T-Dubs are finally dead in the water. As now the Kaisa trying to run away, but Ikigui is going to get shut down by Renegade on the Syndra. First 2 kills of the game over to Renegade, and now Dragon should be free for the side of Miami Vice.
Yeah, and that looked just like it was a miscommunication. Hey, we can do this. And, the Spidey sense over for Ikigui was going off. He noticed that there was nobody else on the map. Like, they got to be somewhere. And, tries to get away. But DT Dub going under the tower and just taking that and giving that to Zeri for free was like really, really weird.
All right, well, we got a little rumble in the mid lane. Renegade still trying to stay aggressive. Granted, is losing a lot of these trades, and I don't think he's back yet. No, he hasn't. Still about a little over 1,600 gold in his pocket to be able to go buy. But Rift Terror being used in the mid lane. This Thresh is going to be piloted at DT Dub, going to do a lot of, and they're going to be able to kill the Rift Terror before this mid T1 goes down. But shouldn't be able to save the tower. iGank then. Granted, it is 3v4, but iGank is probably up there by itself. Silas comes in with, oh, sorry, not Silas. Galio comes in with the ultimate, but the side up. Oh, I lied. There is the Encore coming out. Catches. It is now big fight launches in the mid lane as iGank eats a turn, a real bad turn. So Equalize coming down, but it catches only 2, but they're able to get out of it. But the side of Miami Vice, they still look for blood. They still look for more, but Kaisa's not there. Better in mind. And now half HP bars from Pandarum and Urameshi while Thresh is almost dead. They lose 1, and they don't get the mid lane turret.
No, they lose 1. They don't get the turret. However, Urameshi with that equalizer burning all 5 members. That was insane. That should have been a dead Amumu after the Encore comes out, catches all 3 of them. They barely escape with their lives. And then the Rumble coming through and dropping that, like, you have to, like, that's got to be like one of those things where you feel bad after getting what you wanted.
Man, you got to feel terrible. And Silas, he did take the Cataclysm now at the bot lane of Miami Vice, but able to just make him walk away, constant depot damage, not be able to really get much done. But now Kaisa and Thresh in his mid, and the Death Sentence is going to land flat and forces the flash out of Moby. And now Moby, with no suns, half HP, and barely any mana, going to have to clear his way, and probably not the back, but there's a blue buff up, so he's gonna opt to grab that.
Yeah.
Now, granted, no objectives on the board, so not anything to fight for. So no reason to sit and try to risk your life or anything. So I'm pretty sure I would think that the bot lane of Miami Vice is going to play it safe and recall. And since my else mid, as we see, Renegade on the Syndra is coming mid to be able to clear the way, try to keep that tier 1 up.
Mm-hmm. It actually seems kind of like Renegade doesn't really want to deal with this Silas. They want to do the 2v1 over there.
And speaking of 2v1 in the top lane, they were looking for the Rumble, but comes back. Ultimate is available. As now we see the fight, and now, as we talk about fighting top lane, Renegade is going to get as Ikigui gets another kill on the board, 214 on this Kaisa as he keeps building his gold lead over to Zeri at 7,500 gold total on this Kaisa in comparison to 5,700 to Dirt and Worms.
Yeah, like last game, we saw the Zeri get ahead, had a couple kills, and it was kind of the difference maker in the late game team fights, but this game's going a little differently as iGank is about to get caught out.
Oh, Death Sentence is going to miss, but Ikigui still going to get the kill as he killing instinct his way over to Encore. Catch all. Encore is not going to be able to set up anything as it attempt to save life, but unfortunately it was futile.
And while that's happening, Silas just takes the tier 2 in the bot lane. Like, they're getting every objective that they want. Every time that there's a fight, whether they win it or lose it, they're just getting something on the back end of this. Tanukis playing a really, really strong macro game, as we've come to see them do.
Yeah, you gotta love the side lane adventure. I mean, Silas just get more gold. He did opt to go to Roa build this game, which I don't blame him. Syndra did Syndra does exist, and that will be held to pay. Just get comboed out by Syndra and call it a day. But on the other hand, goal lead over to the side of Tanukis, almost 4K. This game is going wild, and I love it. I love every bit piece of this.
Yeah, Tanukis making a really, really strong showing in the second game. They do not like the fact that they were so far ahead in that first game, but still lost it. Looks like they're not giving Vice the time to breathe this go around, where they're just literally just smothering them as much as they can. But as we saw before, Miami Vice really good at turning the tables when they need to.
I do want to bear this in mind that even though Tanukis have 3 towers, they're equal on Drake's, but what's the next move? Like, is Autocon going to be setting up for Dragon? Like, I'm curious because they're now converging, but it's like really spread out, and Silas currently doesn't have any ultimates, so they can't really afford to be playing like this at the moment.
Now he can come in, and I think for the next thing, you probably want the Dragon to come up, which just spawned, and then you want to win a team fight, and then take both of the ults, right? Or take both of the objectives if you can. That's usually the play, or you win a small team fight, you have like 1 or 2 left, and then you take the Dragon, and then you save Otacon for later.
Yep, and granted, Rumble Ultimate is up now. Pandarum did opt to take the Seraphine Ultimate. Encore will be available over to the side of Tanukis, as now mid lane being pushed down. Now top lane T1 taken down by Urameshi. Well, he's going to be just keep killing the wave and look off the TP down if needed. Now River Control over to the side of Miami Vice as they start looking at this Dragon. Teleport coming in for the Rumble. As going looking for outright 5-on-5. Like I said, Pandora does have Encore, so going to this Tri-Bush, not exactly the greatest idea. This is actually for a 5-man ultimate.
Yeah, you don't want to stack in this bush like
Cataclysm finds one. Encore finds no one. As now shut down over to the Zeri. Rumble is now dead, but Panorama finds the back for Darton Worms not be able to be touched, but not enough damage to really cause havoc as 4 members of Miami Vice are taking down the Dragon over to the side of Tanukis as a double kill over the Ikigui.
Oh, and that's just who does it better? Silas, Moby White actually gets 2 people on that, and they do get the shutdown on the Rumble, but a 4-man catch with Pandorum on the Encore, huge turnaround. That's exactly what they wanted to do. They get the Dragon, they get the Otacon, they get the kill lead off of that fight. A 4-for-1, almost as clean as you can get. Urameshi gives his life for ire there. They were sitting inside of his burn from the equalizer. So really, really well played by Tanukis. They let iGank and Miami Vice pull the trigger and then just pulled the counter trigger almost to perfection there.
I'll also point out, though, that in that fight, I mean, you can't really do it better than Silas. Let's be real. You can't do it better than Silas. Seraphine Oats, like, okay, you get tickled and you dance. Mm-hmm. Silas Oats, bro, this ain't no dancing, bro. You getting tortured because he got way more than you, baby.
Yeah, and
all right, looking like you're trying to look for a pick in the top lane as Gallows gonna be able to make it away, but DT Dub has to be forced to use another flash, or else he was gonna die as he found himself in the midst of Cataclysm by Gank.
Yeah, and Tanukis is playing this anti-Galio almost perfectly. Every time the Galio ults, he's ulting into an equalizer. He ults into an Encore that last time. You know what I mean? Like, they're basically using him and iGank to set up their own, like, AoE ults and just being able to just, like, take everything that Vice is trying to do, and they're just counterplaying it perfectly this game.
The irony. Your name is iGank, and it seemed like the reverse.
Yep. I gank into my team losing the team fight.
Who are you truly ganking at that point? What's the reverse psychology going on here?
Right, as we see Baron is about to spawn here, the 25-minute mark. And this is where Vice has been getting their plays down, and they've been able to turn the momentum of the games over.
I'm sorry I got to interrupt you, but it seems like Panorama is still getting chased down and has the game, but for him, as Panorama is trying to get out of there, it's gonna Galio OT DT Dub, as now Galio's hooked under the bot tier 1 tower as he's just eating tower shots. He's gonna go down to Panorama and Panorama's 3 kills on the board for him on this Silas, and that was a wild turnaround.
How many times are you going to have this team dead to rights? Anybody on this team, you have them. And
Wait, I'm sorry, we're back to more action again. Top lane, I know you want to get your thoughts out, but hey, more action on the board is not mid lane. Is Moby's going to be picked Encore, not even going to be able to come out. It's not even going to be on cooldown. More kills is on the board every time you try to talk in the past 30 seconds, man. Keep trying. Come on, let's go. Get more.
That's okay. Well, I'm used to this in this league. This is an outstanding game. But what I was saying is every time you think you have them, you don't. And then as soon as I say that, Tanukis gets a kill in the mid lane, and iGank actually solos the Rumble without turret help. Insane play by iGank on this Jarvan to just stand right outside of the equalizer. Perfect positioning. Really well done. Unfortunately, Moby White getting caught out in the mid lane at the same time. So it's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back for this Miami Vice team this game. But this is the time where they sort of turn it around. All they need is one really, really strong team fight to get back into this, maybe right before the Baron, and then take it and then swing the momentum. But Tanuki's doing a great job of not allowing that to happen this game.
And right now, it's a fantastic game, and for the side of Tanukis, I mean, Panorama on this side is making it work big time. I mean, we had some team fights, but I haven't really meant much. It's just mainly just Panorama just going berserk whenever he's around Renegade on the Syndra. It's just like he got something in his veins. I don't know. Maybe he got voices in his head, but either way, I'm loving this Silas pick so far.
Yeah, and you called it from the get-go. Oh.
All right. Speaking of getting and calling something, man, Galio got to use his ultimate to make it out alive, or else he's gonna just keep getting jumped. I mean, but Hero's interest now on cooldown. Encore catch anybody, but Ikigui having the flash to make sure that his life is not in risk of danger. Make sure he can stay healthy and be able to help clear this mid lane. But even with him and DT Dub, it should be the mid T1 going up to the side of Miami Vice, and there it is.
Right, and here they go. They're
oh, wait. Watch the Silas. Watch Silas. TP coming in. Curse of the Sad Mummy down. Equalizer is 2. As now here comes Panorama. Fight 2 with the Encore now. Moby's going to die. Renegade's looking like Nodo's outside of the arms, and Z might be gone almost, but going to be able to make it out alive.
Barely by the skin of his teeth, and that's just another one. They just pick a fight and they go. And Pandarum on this Silas is absolutely ruining this game. This is going to have to be a #1 ban for the side of Miami Vice next game. They cannot give this back to him. Absolutely insane, not to put the cart before the horse and say Tanuki wins this, but with the way this is going, Pandarum on this Silas, holy crap. He is absolutely demolishing this game.
Man, that TP was glorious, and the setup for the rest of the squad to be able to just make him entering into that fight just so easy. With the Curse of the Sad Mummy catching 3 Encores is hitting 2, but Equalizer is making it, just getting down more damage. And it only got like about a couple of ticks, but it was a couple of ticks quite a bit when you have Bloodletter's Curse of Leandry. Man. I mean, if you're a fan of Tanukis, you gotta be happy. You gotta be with a giant smile on your face at this moment.
Yeah, with this performance, it is really, really well polished team, showing that game 1 was a mistake. This is ours. It's not over yet, but they just have to make sure that they keep this going, and not let up this gas pedal, not let off the gas pedal here. As Miami Vice trying to take a couple more objectives here, trying to turn this over.
Oh, would it be able to kill Uramesh here? Shouldn't be able to, but Unleash Power is still on the table, and there it is, and the kill going over to Renegade, 4th on the board for the Syndra. As now Baron is being started, they saw 2 members in the bottom side of the map. So Baron, free money, cookies, is now a little over halfway killed, and a bot tier 2 going over to the side of Miami Vice. But if you're Tanukis, I think you're happy with that.
Yeah, and I think if you're Miami Vice, you're just as happy. You get a kill onto the Earth.
Oh, no. I'm sorry to interrupt, but Panorama, like getting picked off, caught by the Encore, still getting a lot of damage done, but not killed. Not enough, as he walks out with a tick of HP. Oh, my God. This man is unkillable.
DT Dub on that Thresh just puts that perfectly in Pandarum after overstepping and was dead to rights. Miami Vice, another time that they have somebody caught, and he just gets away. Oh man, that is such a demoralizer.
Bruh. Oh my God, if you're Miami Vice, I know I'll be partially boomed. Like that much HP. And keep in mind, this man has only HP for stats in terms of like being a bruiser. No type of armor, no type of magic resist. And he just ate all of that and walked out.
And he caught a Magi's too, which is, the curse of the Magi's. But just it's not hitting him here.
Panorama might want to try to risk his life again, but he didn't walk up he didn't walk up far enough and won't be caught out this goal.
Now
There's 3, and now a 4th is coming to try to claim his life.
This is one of those few moments in League where you're like, hey, we have the Baron, but we're losing all the turrets. Right before that fight for Pandarum broke out, we were talking about, like, if you're Miami Vice, you're happy because you got the kill on Urameshi, you got the tier 2 bot lane, and they get the Baron, but now you've gotten 2 turrets since then. So you got to be at least a little bit happy that, the game is sort of turning around now and they can slow it down. They can get the scalers going again. And this is almost perfect for what you want, especially if Pandurum's going to be able to get out of these sticky situations.
A sticky situation indeed is now almost a 5K goal lead over to the side of Tanukis as Panoram is split pushing this top side again, Urameshi in the bottom side, but iGang did look for the flag and drag, but not going to connect. So he's going to be able to walk away scot-free. Baron shouldn't be up for much too longer either.
Right, this is now a level 18 Silas, the first one to hit 18 on the board. Huge stats, huge lead. Just have to keep playing around him. And if he's going to be able to keep split pushing like this and they can get objectives elsewhere, Miami Vice might want to start looking at trying to pick somebody else off.
Yeah, definitely so, especially with Dragon, a little less than a minute, 46 seconds to be exact. And especially 32 and a half minutes into the game, the death timer is just getting longer and longer. So big pick here could definitely, probably, depending on who it is, can get you a free drag.
Right. I think that Miami Vice is going to have to just sort of concede this soul over to the side of Tanukis if they want to win. The team fights are not going their way when they're getting caught, as DT Dubs does.
All right, we got to fight. iGang did get in there, but this fight is actually strangely awkward. Now, teleport did go through Urameshi. He's like, it felt like I just watched this guy just say hi in the jungle entrance, and now we're just walking off, hi and bye. Yeah, now Dragon being started by the side of Tanukis. It's going to be free, as we already saw. Moby, health bar is already halfway, and iGank. Oh, no, they might not be looking for free. It's now the pick. Entrance going to find 3, but will it matter? As Dirtin Worms is dead, but Panoram, first death of the game, but they're still going forward as Equalizer finds victims, and now Renegade's on the run. Oh, flash call for the death sentence, but Renegade with that happy feet going to be the game. But he's going to be flayed right back to the team. And that's going to be 4 dead Soul Survivor over to the Seraphine. And Moby's not going to really be able to do too much. Maybe just clear this way. But too dangerous is keep in mind, Basket is still there along with Thresh. And that's going to be Inhib over to the side of Tanukis. And they possibly might be looking for more. They might be looking to end the game here. But keep in mind the timers. Zeri is at 6 seconds. They should probably just back off. As now Zeri is coming up very soon, but so is J4. Make it less than 10 for him too, as they might be biting off a little bit more than they can chew.
Yeah, we see this time and time again with these teams in this league where they do that. But Moby White just got the Encore back up. If they had stuck around for like 2 more seconds or been on that wave, this could have been 4 dead, and it could have been a whole bunch of kills for Dirtin Worms on the Zeri. But they make the right call. They're going over towards the Baron. To the Baron side to just reset and spend all the gold that they got, but big shutdown onto the Silas. Not only do you get the gold for that, but you cut his stacks in half on this Magi's.
And I know Panoram just had to want to have a perfect game, but that 0 finally turned to a 1. But just looking at the game state, man, still 5K goal lead over to the side of Tanukis, but I'm sorry, a little under 5K, but also at the same time, Cloud Soul to be exact, over to the side of Tanukis also. And even though Oh boy, encore his two. I was busy getting a thought out, but now
Mhm.
each always dominating 7-1 and 8 for the Kaiser in this game too.
DT Dub's just looking for
What
more
DT
too.
Dub? DT
Holy
Dubs,
crap,
what are
he
you
just
doing,
wants to
brother?
go.
Oh
I
no! Hey,
I
that was
love
a
the aggression there, but oops. Now your
that was
thresh, your main engage is gone. Ugh.
bluff of the year right there. Broke through the lantern bat like somebody was coming, but actuality Casper was the only one there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he thought that he was going to keep going. Little miscommunications, but it does look like Tanukis is going to be able to still take this as Pandarum is going to be playing offensive line here to stop
Oh,
IGANK from coming in.
almost possible was gonna get stolen by
Ooh.
iGank, but here comes the fight. Equalizer is down. iGanks onto Ikigui. Panorum's finding more blood. It's now one kill for 4 different members as an ace. And for the side of Tanukis. Now, granted, that ace was right before Moby came back up, so he's left it a B game.
Yeah, and Moby getting caught there by DT Dub prior to Thresh giving his life on accident afterwards. Just unfortunate because they didn't have the Seraphine to add agency to that team fight for them. Tanuki's clean fight, really, really well played. They did a great job of just countering that Galio strategy and the amount of damage that was coming out from Rumble ult and the amount of times that Pandarum just turned the fight on its head using the Silas and just stealing ult after ult after ult was absolutely insane. Super clean game from Tanukis. I expected that in game 1. They gave it to us in game 2. Now it's time for Miami Vice to reset, remember what they want to do, and move on from there. It's now 0-0. It's a one game do or die. Let's see how these teams both respond.
Game 3 situation. This game 2 was very, very vastly different compared to this game 1. Dominating fashion for the side of Tanukis, not even trying to let Miami Vice feel like they're remotely in the game except for the first like 8 minutes, man. Tanukis just, I don't know, game 1 lit a fire under their butt and they decided they're going to run with it tonight. And I'm liking what I'm seeing. I mean, the Rumble came out, favorite champions. I always happy to see that. But Silas being the game changer in this draft, hey, man, called it early. And if he ain't banned game 3, I'm just saying Miami Vice might be in trouble.
Right now, you're gonna have to see like what do they want to prioritize the bans on? Are you gonna give that Scion over to Pandorum because he's actually better on that champion than he is on Silence? So, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna let the Jinx or the Yunara come through for Trey or Dirt and Worms? I mean, it's just there's so much that Tanuki showed on that one that the lockdown and the AoE beat out the one time or pump, like the one time, crowd controls and a little bit of damage. And Zeri just not able to follow up in all of those team fights that time. Did a lot of damage, did what she could, but just too much tankiness, too much burn damage, AoE, and coordination on the side of Tanukis. All right, with that, we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere because game 3 for first place in the IBSG Murk Academy Week 5. Winner takes first place for the playoffs is coming. Don't go anywhere.
A broken dreamer is your mind. All the scars, let's leave them behind. We light the world up now, let us fire in your eyes. To the darkness, into the night. A broken dreamer is your mind. All the scars, let's leave them behind. We light the world up now, let us fire in your eyes. To the darkness, into the night. Put your fucking hands up. The wolf, she cries at night. A breath had born in the black wind where the shadows lie. Deep inside despair, our hearts grow fierce, our minds aware. We carry on, oh, we carry on, carry on. We carry on, oh, we carry on, we carry It's always darkest before the dawn. It's always quiet before the storm. We are not afraid. We journey on the road to tomorrow that hope has been. I'm not usually the type to rush into the night. This time I can't be speeding. I'm taking it slow, but I just want more. I'm taking it slow, just go with the flow. I'm taking it slow, but I just want more. I'm taking it slow, just go with the flow. I'm taking it slow, my knees on the floor. I'm begging for more. It's you I adore. You took me to see Versailles in the middle of July. I'm falling to the deep end, giving into my feelings, afraid to go on this ride. I'm scared to crash inside. This time I might be speeding. I'm taking it slow, but I just want more. I'm taking it slow, just go with the flow. I'm taking it slow, but I just want more. I'm taking it slow, just go with the flow. I'm taking it slow, my knees on the floor. I'm begging for more. It's you I inside my corner, yeah. When it gets cold and dark, you make it warmer. 'Cause you are on my mind, all of my days and every single night. There ain't no way to get you off my mind. Without you, I just can't breathe. You never get.
All right, guys, welcome back. We now hit game 3 for the series, Miami Vice versus GCCE Tanukis. Guys, that game 2 was crazy. Back and forth. Game 2, utter domination. As Pandarum just straight went crazy on Silas. But I'm curious to see how this game 3 is going to go, man. Phil, tell me what you think so far.
I think that Tanukis reset really, really well from their game 1. They realized what they did wrong. They adjusted insanely well, something that you see like seasoned teams do. And they showed why they are basically undefeated in this league for a reason. Miami Vice got caught on their back foot a little bit too many times, getting caught out in positions where they shouldn't have been. And it ended up costing them the game. So, we do see that there is a sub back in for the ADC on their side. Trey back on the controls for the ADC on Miami Vice. Miami Vice back on the blue side again. So interested to see how they react after having all the momentum from game 1 being sucked out of their soul in game 2. Tanukis absolutely dominant.
And now we're looking at draft for this game 3. Sion already taken off the board, same as and both game 1 and game 2. So is Nog, but Yunar, of course, again, being very strong ever since release. I mean, being played all levels pro, all the way down to amateur, all the way down to IBSG here. As look to see, Wade being still kept away from Renegade, not letting him get a little bit comfortable on that, even though they handled it pretty well in the game 1. Silver being taken out to round out the 3 bans for the side of Miami Vice for this game 3.
Yeah, and the Hoi wasn't super effective early, but late game, when it became him and Zeri as the 2 damage dealers, he was giving so much space to just sort of do whatever he wanted. As we see the Mundo picked up for the top side in the hands of Noto, and Mordekaiser going over to iGank for Miami Vice. Ikigui opting for the Vayne in this game, and Urmashi back on the Rumble. We saw how good he was at that. Basket Bread answering the Mundo with a Jarvan, and Renegade swapping over to the Ahri.
Ahri indeed picked up for Renegade, and over on the other side, we got Vayne, Rumble, and Jarvan already put on the board, man. We already know this combo, Jarvan and Rumble Equalizer with Cataclysm, no escape. But Renegade picking up that Ahri, being able to spear rush her way outside of the walls. Not gonna be too much doom and gloom. Granted, Mundo picked up, and there's a Vayne on the other side of the board, so they're gonna have to keep that bot lane buried, or else it's gonna be hell to pay. No matter if you try to ult her away and with Mordekaiser or not. Especially iGank picking up, and that Mundo, man, is gonna be not Mundo. Sorry, Mordekaiser is gonna be more jungle for this game 3 with Mundo on the top side.
Right, and we see the the Aurelion Syndra coming out after the top and mid have been picked, but once again, that's just kind of a little mess up from the Riot client and everything else. So it wasn't picked in this exact order, but we do see Moby White and Trey going to the Jinx Lulu versus the Thresh Vayne. How do you see that matchup going?
Jinx Lulu into Thresh Vayne. If I'm gonna be honest with you, it can go either way, but I think I want to lean more towards the Jinx Lulu, especially being able to polymorph the Vayne, be able to just take away some of that damage early. And granted, Vayne also had to scale into the damage anyway, so not really going to be having that much in the first place. It's going to make an advantage over the side of Miami Vice bot lane. But granted, what I'm mainly looking towards right now is, as you guys see, the game playing being hovered over and Tanukis. I'm just curious, how are they gonna look to play through this mid? Because I say play through, sorry, but really I didn't mean to say it, but no, honestly, they might have to. They're gonna have to for this early to mid game, because Jinx got to scale. Mundo's not really gonna he might be able to do much. He has one of the weakest early games entire game, and especially now against this Rumble, it's not gonna be easy.
No, but we've seen Noto kind of handle himself pretty well into unfavorable matchups so far. Even last game with the Rumble, and he was on the Galio. Handled himself well in lane. It was more of the late game, mid game decisions that Miami Vice was kind of whiffing on and getting counterplayed on. But we don't have the Silas. We don't have a lot of turnaround. The one thing that is lacking from the side of GCCE is a frontline tank with a ton of CC. They had the Amumu last game. They had the Silas being able to steal a lot of ults, including the Galio or the Seraphine, which he used to perfection. So now he's going to be on the Gangplank. He's going to be able to, show off his skills on a champion that is very mechanically difficult to operate. And we do see the Mordekaiser in the jungle, and I'd rather see that in the hands of Noto other than iGank. But if iGank keeps up the pressure like he has been, and Mordekaiser's a presence, I do think it can go really well. And yeah.
I do want to say, though, you raise a great point over to about having a lot of crowd control on the front line. But keep in mind, too, on the side of Miami Vice, they do have a Mundo, yes, and the Mordekaiser, yes, but they don't have a lot of hard CC in terms of in their front line themselves. It's mostly coming out of the Ari and the Lulu. Granted, Mordekaiser be able to utilize the E, be able to pull somebody in, or in some cases, basically yank them away if he does it backwards. But still, it's kind of a lack of CC all around. But unlike the side of Miami Vice, we got to keep in mind, too, Tanukis do have that combo in Rumble and J4. And not only that, the only person that can actually get out of it, movement wise, I'm not including Mordekaiser ultimate in the Delph realm, but actually be able to get out of it without utilizing Flash is literally Ari. So if they're able to lock down this Jinx as a Cataclysm and Flash, this should be a Delph every single time, pretty much.
Right. The onus is going to be on iGank to take whatever threat is going after Trey on this Jinx and just completely take him out of the team fight. Even if you have to take somebody that is going to kill you, you have to stifle the attack and try to provide as much as you can while Lulu tries to keep her alive with the shields and the ult, and maybe a good polymorph onto somebody diving in. But yeah, the onus is gonna be on iGank here on this Mordekaiser to just make the right decision of who he's pulling in and keep this Jinx from being able to free fire from the backline and hit whoever she can, hopefully not getting caught up by the Rumble and the J4 at the same time. Meanwhile, you have GP ult that can also pile on top of the damage there and shred resistances and just everything. So I do like the fact that GCCE has a very solid, easy to pull off multi-target wombo combo. But if you can't get on top of the Jinx, if you can't kill the Ari, this is going to be a really, really hard game. So they're going to have to rely once again on their macro and their decision making to take this away from Miami. As we're waiting a couple more seconds for the game to start here, as we've seen in this matchup already, GCCE is pulling out the early game pressure. They're getting all the objectives that they want. They're making the better team fight decisions. Miami Vice, though, still has that opportunity to turn any game on its head, no matter how far behind they are. They always seem to find a way to claw back. The only exception being game 2 in this series. So I'm really excited to see if they can pull this one off again and take first place from Tanukis, who is actually undefeated in this season. But the IBSG title, first place playoff berth is on the line here, and you always see the character of the players come, whether they're going to rise to the top or they're going to just crumble to the bottom as they fight for this when their backs are against the wall.
And I will say, though, that a big win con for the side of Miami Vice, they have to shut down this vein. They don't really have a source of hard to engage from Ari trying to spear rush and assassinate somebody. But even still, I wouldn't really consider it hard engage pick. So in the case of Miami Vice, if they don't literally deal with the vein and they're able to fight front to back as the game gets later, and I say they as in Tanukis, Miami Vice is going to be in a very painful position. It's not going to go out too well for them.
No, it's not. But here we go. We're getting into the game here. Game 3, first place up for grabs for Miami Vice and GCCE Tanukis. Real quick before we get into this, your pick for game 3, I'm actually going to go with Miami Vice. I want to see the upset.
Well, you might go with Miami Vice, but I'm going to go with the big GCCE Tanukis, baby, as I think they should be able to take this game and should have an easier time being able to get this win as long as they keep Ikigui from falling behind.
And there we go. We've seen him pilot Kai'Sa. We've seen him pilot other champions that take a lot. The Vayne should be no exception. It should be very impressive. We do see that he ended up going with the Ghost instead of a barrier, so he's going to want to chase down anybody that gets caught out in bad decisions. As we see the normal 5-point coming through, no early action, just a little bit of early vision coming out for both of these teams. As we're going to go into the standard lanes, and Mordekaiser on the blue side going to be clearing top to bottom, and J4 bottom to top, going to try to, enable his Rumble to get a little bit ahead of this Mundo.
All right. Like you said, already 5-point start for both sides. Minions are now coming in. We see Mordekaiser starting on these Wolves. J4 going to be starting on this blue buff. As I'm curious, what do you think is the win come for the side of Tanukis? I already said for his Miami Vice. What do you think it is for Tanukis?
For Tanukis, it's going to be good decision-making, strong macro play, and then getting all of their ults to go off at the same time on the targets that they want. If you can catch 2 or 3 people inside of that Jarvan ult and then drop the GP and the Rumble ult on top of that, that is going to be nigh on impossible to survive for the side of Miami Vice. So
I have to agree with you on there. As you see, level 2 advantage goes over to Moby White and Trey in this bot lane, but not really much gonna be able to just engage or anything because Vayne, Thresh, they respect him, back off. But in this top side though, Noto and Urameshi, this entire series, they've been going back and forth with each other, trading left and right, and I really do appreciate the show. But Pandarum, on the other hand, the man's been on the gas pedal the entire series, but now this time going to play a little bit back as he's now taking up the scale and pick with the game playing. Ari on Renegade. Renegade on Ari, sorry. My apologies. But Urameshi taking very low. Noto looking, but not going to be able to get it. Going to land a Q onto a main, unfortunately. But will he actually get it? And first blood over to Noto. No flash expended. That was ballsy, but trade over to the top side as the minion wave is crashing over into Urameshi's tower.
yeah, and he's going to be able to teleport. Both of them are going to teleport and come back. I absolutely love how much these guys love to just fight. And Noto, surprisingly, is actually not going to teleport. He's just going to walk back to his lane. I think that's a pretty smart move. If he gets caught in a bad position here from a Jarvan gank or something like that, and he has to back off, he'll be able to teleport. So keeping that advantage in your pocket while Rumble is sort of, trying to clear the minions is a good idea, but Rumble doing a good job of trying to let as many minions die as he possibly can. And this might be a little bit of a misplay for the Mundo. See, now the CS lead is a little bit up for the Rumble.
Now we got a gank up at top side as Noto is gonna be running away for dear life. Urameshi wants to kill Ray badly, but keep in mind both aim. Flash is still up for Urameshi, but Ghost wasn't spinning for Noto, so he's gonna be able to make it out of there. Up on the run. Flash still available for both bot landers as now Polymorph utilized, and now DT Dub gonna find himself killed, and another kill over to the side of Miami Vice, courtesy of Trey, Moby, and Night Gank.
Yeah, and unfortunately we didn't get to see it because the action on the top lane, but I would have liked to have seen, did DT Dub just make a bad decision of going a little bit too aggressive? They had the ward in the tri-brush, but Mordekaiser had cleared the Scuttle Crab, and they had no vision of him from that point on, so maybe he went in for a bad engage or what, but just unfortunate. DT Dub on this Thresh gave away a little bit too much last game as well, but it didn't end up screwing them over too much.
And now we're seeing the pressure that Urameshi's putting with this Rumble. But Noto not backing down from a challenge, constantly getting this Q damage off when he can, along with being able to knock minions into the Rumble. Pandarum, nice barrel combo there. But I'm really looking forward to what he's going to bring in his mid game, because especially the dominance he's been bringing in his mid lane himself. I'm just curious. Can he continue it, though? Of course, not in lane with this champion for the most part. Yep. Unless Renegade just really plays the horrible. Orange is going to keep getting him out of that charm and possibly not get him killed.
Yeah, it is actually interesting to see him on the Gangplank. You know, he went for the longsword early on into selling that for the early.
I spoke a little too soon, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Renegade with. But Renegade's going to walk so straight into the thresh. But Flash still available, along with another proc Spirit Rush. Is going to get out of there safe and sound, even with 3 people mid lane.
Yeah, and, you know, Basket Bread was sitting there on the Jarvan, just waited too long to pull the trigger on that. And now we're going to see a little bit of a disadvantage here on the bot lane, too, as DT Dub overstepping.
3v2 on the river now. DT Dub gonna be able to make it up. But Basket Bread is gonna find herself on the bad end of the fight now. Kill over to Murk. Some damage done to him by Trey, but it's gonna be fairly healthy. DT Dub gonna have to recall though. And now Dragon being started over to the side of Miami Vice.
Yeah, and we're seeing a flip side to what we saw last game, you know, like where GCCE was taking the early game really, really quickly and well and efficiently, and now Miami Vice is actually on the aggression here. You know, Renegade getting a solo kill onto Pandorum and then, you know, transitioning that into a free kill and Dragon in the bot lane, like absolutely just well played by Miami Vice to start this game 3.
Definitely so. 4-1 on the board. 1,300 goal lead over to the side of Miami Vice. Starting this game off pretty well, like they will want to, especially against the scaling combo. They got to push the gas pedal even more. Try to get further ahead of Tanukis. Don't want to end up in a game 1 situation. The other side is the scalers.
Yeah, no, they don't. We see GP picking up a cull as well as Jarvan's coming in.
Yes, sir, he is coming in, but Renegade should be able to make it out, but no Spirit Rush available. Flash is still there, and no Cataclysm yet. Hook landed onto Trey on this Jinx. Gonna get quite a bit of damage done. Trey trying to get some back for the hook, but can't match up to that, man. You got hit with a whole 3 proc E from Vayne, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's an E star W.
Yeah, and that's what's going to happen when your support is roaming to try to, you know, secure these grubs. They want, you know, they have the feat of warfare. Now they want to try to transition this into, you know, the grubs on top of the first dragon. And with Pandorum just kind of stuck into his turret, how do they do this? You know, how do they get over to here and actually contest with no prio?
All right, well, now we seeing both sides want to look for these grubs, but Basket is taking a lot of damage, has a flash over the wall, still stuck in that death round, but we're coming out. And now DT Dub, possibly almost on the brink of death, gonna be able to make it out just with barely sliver of HP. Jinx, Rocket. Oh my goodness, that is a good field goal, straight up the middle. Gameplay finds Renegade for the kill.
Right, and the Gangplank ult just comes out. We didn't even think she was in danger, but you forget that they have that global ult from the Gangplank as Urameshi and Noto are also fighting on this top lane now.
Yep, and Noto's not backing down, especially. And look, Equalizer is down, but so is the ultimate from Mundo, as now he's trying to find a kill, but he's not going to be willing to take a tower shot. I don't blame him, as maximum dosage doesn't give that much HP at the current moment. Gives quite a bit, but not enough to survive that shot.
No, it doesn't. And Basket Bread going in, and I think he actually ended up stealing one of those grubs. Yeah, it looks like it's 2 for 1 here. They at least got 2 of them. Basket Bread going back inside there. I don't know if maybe he thought he could do something like slick, but bad decision for Basket Bread, and it's very uncharacteristic of him to do that as DT Dub trying to set up this mid lane.
And they'll set his land on Renegade. Now they're looking for the fight in mid. Keep in mind, no flash, no Spirit Rush, as Renegade's almost taken down. DT Dub.
Oh yeah, he was. Oh man, so close. As Noto still sitting on this. The Jinx Rocket comes out, goes wide again, and both teams just trying to look to reset here while GP's pushing into this mid lane while we're working on Ghost's mic issues over here. Now we see that both of these teams, Miami Vice is pinging this dragon. They do want to try to take it and pressure for it. GCCE actually really on the back foot here without that. Without Ari just sort of like backing for no reason and getting that GP ult, there hasn't been a lot of good plays for them as they're just sort of on the back foot the entire time here. But Renegade just keeping this pressure on the Pandorum. He's literally just stuck inside of his tower basically the whole time as Basketball's coming up for a gank onto Noto.
Yes, sir. They find him in the Cataclysm. Maximum dose is not up yet. Not just yet. Now it will be expended by Noto. Can he turn this around, though? Not enough HP already been burned down so much. And keep in mind, Urameshi overheating finishes off the kill. So 2 kills over to Urameshi on this Rumble. And that's exactly what the Tanukis want.
Yeah, you got to get it where you can. You're losing it pretty much every other spot, even though Jinx is not known for being like an early game champion. 101, a little bit under on the CS. Ikigui doing a good job staying alive on this vein, but just not able to really help too much as this Jinx is just pressuring this wave, being able to use your rockets to clear and push and just create so much pressure for your team to be able to fall back on is really important here is DT Dub.
Oh boy, Mordekaiser gets DT Dub into the duffer immediately once he walks on the bush, flash over the wall. Will he be able to make it out? As now Jinx already setting up the escape route to cut it off, and now I gank 3rd kill on the board. Riley has already completed 2, so there was no escape for the Thresh, and Drag now being taken by Miami Vice.
Yeah, and Jarvan is sitting there at 69 TCS over to the 88 of Mordekaiser with the 3. He's 301, has the Rylai's completed. Everywhere that he shows up, he is making plays, and it is wonderful to see this coming out of iGank, who's showing that he also, it's not just Basketbred's league, that he also is one of the best junglers, and they're trying to prove it right here.
Fantastic number indeed. Fantastic number indeed. But second Drake over to the side of Miami Vice. Go lead also to Miami Vice. A little about 1,600 up at the current moment as we see Basketball coming up for another gank on Noto. Haven't you learned now, old man? You don't have flashes. Equalizer is down. Maximum dose is not up yet, but even still, he's too low. It's not going to matter. Or Meshi 3rd kill now on the board.
I'd like to see Trey save these.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry, man. Flag a drag for Basket. Try to get out of there as iGank has now entered the phrase along with Renegade. Spirit Rush is going to be able to finish off the jungler. Or will it? As Renegade misses the charm. Basket with the left foot step and back to the right. Cha-cha slide on him, and he's going to make his way back to the base safe and sound.
Yeah, and really well done. This Mundo, unfortunately for him, he's going to be the target of Basketball as many times as he can get up there. I actually wouldn't even be surprised if we see like a Magi's coming out or a Darksteel for this Rubble, because he's just going to be able to kill him every single time. Anytime Cataclysm is up, he's basically a dead man.
All right, now we got a fight between Basketball and iGank, and Basketball about to realize that he is not strong enough. Look at his Mordekaiser, man. Riley is already completed with the faded actions. Just put Mace to bit the backside in that jungle of Basketball.
Yeah, and this is now he wants to go mid, but Rumble's mid. J4 can also gank mid, so we'll see if Noto can get there. He's on the unfortunate.
Oh no! Here comes iGank. Iramesh is gonna find out how the Jarvan been treating Noto, but he's gonna be forced to utilize Flash.
Right, and I actually kind of wish that Mundo. I know a lot of them go Ghost because it really helps for you to just stick on, especially when you have your Heartsteel and you just want to run into the back line and do your Juggernaut thing. But Flash probably would have been better here, considering the fact that you do have a Rumble and a Jarvan that can just lock you down if you don't have it. And until he gets like a Spirit Visage or something, he's not going to be able to withstand all of this damage that comes out, especially once the Leandries and the Bloodletter's Curse is built up.
Oh, brother, this is we have a game on our hands. I mean, Noto is getting beat down, but on the other hand, iGank 4 kills, Ari has 2 kills. Jinx has a kill, an assist, and a completed item to Vayne's. Like, not one completed. Both have Berserker Grease. So, I mean, Miami Vice, they want payback for last game.
Yeah, they do. And I think another thing that can't be understated is the fact that Moby has not overstepped. He has not gone into a place and face checked the bush yet. You know, by this time in the last 2 games, he had at least 2 deaths to like bad just overstepping into nowhere. This time it's DT Dubs that's making the mistake. So Miami Vice cleaning up a lot of the mistakes that they had in game 1 and game 2. And even though they won game 1, there was a lot to clean up, and they're doing it really, really well.
Yeah, 100%, man. Moby hit Ultra Instinct right now. He's trying to play his best game he possibly can. He wants first place. He wants the first seeding to end out this IBSG regular season. But here comes the gank. Renegade found at the other end of the stick of the gank block this time. But keep in mind, Spirit Rush is available. Cataclysm is going to be utilized. So is the gameplay ultimate. Not going to be enough. But iGank is there. And Delphirum is available. And he's going to have Jarvan in there, taking him to Brazil, as Jinx Rock is going to miss because of it. But it should be still a 5th kill over the iGank, possibly. Oh, there we go. Renegade gets it instead. That's even better.
Oh man, the Mordekaiser pulls him into a missed charm. That's something that you could only do if you're holding both controllers. What a play by iGank to just get that.
Oh, Mordekaiser, I love it. iGank, get rid of the tower aggro by just hopping straight into the Rift Turret, taking that top tier 1, and they're also going to get mid T1 via Trey and Moby in the mid lane.
Yeah,
just macro all over the place.
Right, usually the strength of GCCE, but they're getting a taste of their own medicine. Miami Vice is there before everybody else, and we see what happens now let's see what happens now when they're playing from the back foot, as we haven't seen them do all season long. Now we see Moby White hovering over this Mundo right now, not for any other reason than they want to take this tower and they want to secure this dragon. The vision game is on the side of Miami Vice. It is super clean. It is everywhere that they want it, and they're seeing anything that GCCE wants to do. But you have the GP with no ult sitting up top. I think they're just going to give this one away.
And it's going to be 3rd dragon over to Miami Vice. I mean, X-Tech Drake Soul sounds great to me.
Yeah, they're sitting on Soul Point. Plus, they got the Rift. Plus, they got the Grubs. So you're getting everything. I know they both missed.
Renegade, we're gonna act like we didn't see you miss the charm on a standing still opponent. But here comes iGank flying in with the ghost. Delphirum being utilized. Will they care about the turn? I think absolutely not. Urmesh is more important. Forget the 4 tower shots. You just there's another kill over the iGank.
Yeah, and that was set up a little bit by Moby White getting the E off and just like making I don't know who made that call, but perfect timing to make that. They just finished the dragon. I don't know what Urameshi was doing up there, being that far out, knowing that Mordekaiser and Lulu were there. A little bit of a misplay, but iGank is so strong now that he took 4 turret shots and walked away with full health.
All right, well, it's looking like this game's not slowing down anytime soon. I mean, we're almost 20 minutes to the game, 14 kills on the board with a goal lead of almost 4,000 exactly over to the side of Miami Vice, man.
Yeah, and I've wanted to see Miami Vice play from a lead. Almost every single game that they have, they falter in the early game, they come back in the mid game, and they slow it down, and then in the late game, they find a way to like flip the momentum. And now they're the ones with it, as Renegade almost getting caught, but not quite. But it does look like there's a chance for a scuffle up here on the top side jungle. T-Dub getting caught out here by the Ahri charm. She's going to finish it off. She does have the ult reset to try to go onto this Jarvan, but doesn't look like she's going to be able to get it. iGank up here as well is going to try to pull this Jarvan out. But might just be a...
All right, but with Noto pushing this bot lane, I mean, this game's just looking more rough for the side of Tanukis.
Right. You know, we said it earlier too. They have the scaling advantage with the Mundo, with the Jinx, and being able to, sort of just kind of get to the late game and you sort of win. But now they're not even in the late game and they're just kind of already winning. It's going to come down to GCCE being able to pull off these 2 3-man ults that we were talking about pregame. So.
All right, we got a fight here. Cataclysm comes out, and now the hook on the eye gank. Try yank him under the tower. Almost dead, and the shutdown going to be over to Pandorum on this gameplay. Big shutdown, especially. As now a Renegade is going to go and try to finish the job of Pandorum, but will he be finished instead? And shutdown over to Basket Bread. That was ambitious. And now Moby's going to pay the price, too, as Basket Bread is going to find another kill.
Oh, and that's the one thing you don't want. You can't overcommit to bad plays, and when it goes wrong, you need to be able to say, hey, we missed the play. We want this, yes, but we can't take it. And Renegade, a little overzealous after iGank, just sort of misplays and overplays his hand a little bit. We saw the Cataclysm GP ult work, so that's 2/3 of the plan from GCCE, and it worked out really well. So Tanukis getting a little bit of a break there as Miami Vice just sort of oversteps.
It just seemed like Miami Vice is getting a little overzealous, and it's costing them now. Tanukis, it was almost a 5K goal lead, now shortened to a little less than 2K.
DT Dub, what are you doing? Oh. Well-timed hook, but no follow-up, unfortunately. I actually thought he was just going to die there, but Mundo opted for the Warmogs instead of the Heartsteel first, so a lot of damage is going to have to wait as Vice is just going to take this Otacon here.
Yes, sir. They just take this Otacon, but they got to cut down the mistakes. Like, seriously. Like if they want to win this game, especially, I mean, Vayne has 0 kills, but just been sitting there farming. But the same end of the token, I mean, GP 2-1 and 2 at the moment, 2 items already finished. Like trying, and Pandorum's trying his damnness to make sure that he gets far ahead in this game. I mean, he's already a little over 1K gold ahead of this already. And now, speaking of Pandorum, Barrow's gonna hit. Already has a Spirit Rush out of there, but it's not gonna matter. DT Dub gonna find the kill. And Dragon is up in 23 seconds.
You know, iGank has a blue ward. They know what they're supposed to do here. They just don't do it. You got to stop doing these face checks as Tanukis sets up the Death Bush perfectly. And now they're on the backside here. How do you end up taking this Dragon from somebody? If you pull the Jarvan, then somebody else is going to be able to hit it. They don't have anybody here. Mundo sitting on the top side, but we could see a TP flank. Potentially.
You could potentially see one. That means the side of Tanukis, they need to go ahead and burn this down fast. But iGank is in the pit. iGank is by himself, though. They could just let the focus him. And Delphram does come out, going to find Ikigui in there. Keep in mind, the Vayne still only has 1.5 items. So not going to be able to do as much as he can to this pretty fair Mordecai's, but does take him pretty low. And iGank going to get the shield, though. And now Basketball going to find himself on the end of a Delph screen. As now the rest of Tanukis on the run. DT Dub going to find a kill on the Jinx. But it still doesn't mean anything. Pandorum doing as much damage as he possibly can. But Nodo, with the maximum dose, is just chasing them down, trying to get to him. And keep in mind, no gameplay does not have Flash. But they make it to the tower. So they got to make sure they just don't bite off too much naked chew and just go ahead and just take the dub. You already killed 2, and you got the drag. You're on soul point. And no, sorry, you didn't get the drag. You lost it, but you got 2. It's okay.
Yeah, and really, really good thing that started off that fight was actually DT Dub sitting at the very, very bottom of that bush was not hit by the Jinx Zap. So they thought that they were free to be able to walk up in there and get a ward down. And then he just comes out with the Thresh Hook and actually locks down Trey to the point where Trey had to burn his flash and his barrier early. So he didn't have it when he got excited and overextended into the bottom tri-brush, which ultimately kind of like killed that entire play.
It sure did, though. That play, I think, honestly, it probably should just gave that drag. I mean, they already had 3. The side of Tanukis, they didn't have any. They didn't need to fight that. I mean, they could just say, okay, you guys have it, walk off and call it a day, because you already lost Renegade.
Mm-hmm.
Like a little over 20 seconds before.
Right, and if they had a little bit better communication and team fight positioning, maybe that goes a different way. But Trey just getting excited and then trying to chase down the GP and then other people trying to chase down. They did end up getting the 2. The Vayne did die. Mordekaiser sitting 6-1 and 5 now is going to have, I think he's building towards a Bloodletter's Curse here or the the Riftmaker. So he's going to be sitting on 3 items soon. That's going to be a really, really scary monster.
It definitely is, man. Well, I'm mainly looking forward to, especially when this Vayne gets online. Like I said, item and a half already there for the Rage Blade. But for the side of Miami Vice, they are forcing Tanukis back, trying to possibly bait them in for a Baron. And Noto just walking on Urameshi, no care in the world. That man said, "This is my wave. This is my jungle. I don't care." I say my jungle. I don't mean the literal jungle. Just a saying, guys. Don't crucify me in the comments.
Yeah, we'll see here. Renegade coming in on the
Flash out for Ikagui is Renegade using the Spirit Rush, gonna miss the flash. Renegade might find himself in a death situation. There's another fight going on in the jungle. 2v1 for Ikagui, Rumble with the equalizer. Unfortunately, Vayne does get a kill before she dies, and Basket on the run is gonna be a 1-4-2. Unfortunately, though, even though the heroics of Rumble trying to keep Ikagui alive, gonna fail at that, but Baron is on the table, but keep in mind, no Jinx, so no consistent 80 damage and to be able to just try to mow this thing down. So it's going to be a little bit on a slower burn.
Right.
But would Jarvan get up in time?
But you do end up having this GP ult, so if DT Doug can get some vision and find out where Renegade is, Gangplank can drop this ult here and actually do a ton of damage with that Riftmaker burn and the Leandries. We probably will see this go out soon. Nope. Yep. Never mind. He's not going to follow it up. So,
I mean, it's probably best not to even use it. I mean, they still have Smite available.
Yeah, I just love seeing either Baron steals or people dying for no reason.
I feel so dumb. Is J4 going to be back up? And then look at the timer. Yeah, it's 20 seconds. 20-some seconds. He's not going to be back up.
Yeah. And now we see another key moment too. Is Mundo is hit 16. He's going to have level 3 ult here. It's going to be really, really hard to deal with the split push of the Mundo. Meanwhile, anybody who steps forward is going to get a 1v1 with the Mordekaiser. Riftmaker is completed now. Miami Vice is still in control of this game, even though they've given up a lot of the early game momentum that they built.
Also, got to bear in mind too, Rage Blade completed by the Vayne alongside a goal lead. Back to 5K for the side of Miami Vice, but will they throw it away? They did it last time with Noto in the top side. He's been pushing, but he has no teammates around, not even nearby. They're all completely on the bot, and there is no objective to be taken at the moment. Drag is up in 23 seconds, but for the side of Tanukis, they do have enough time to make it down there.
Right, and they did end up using the Vayne ult there, so that's going to be a big cooldown.
No, Basket Bread might find himself in a dangerous and precarious moment here as immediately Mordekaiser uses the ultimate iGame. He's going to be able to kill the enemy jungler, and now it's a 2v3, make it 4 now. As Spirit Rush brings Renegade into the fight, and Vayne and Thresh are going to suffer the same fate. Base is going to be broken open, and death time is pretty high. I think they might just look for an end of the game, equalizer, utilize, try to clear this way, but they are buried in power, so they're going to take a lot more damage, but Urameshi is going to die for the cause. Now make it 4 dead, only Pandarum on this gameplay still up.
Is he waiting for the next game to throw his ult out? That would have been a lot of just stat shredding that he could have placed down on the iGank, maybe gotten the kill onto him, and also Trey super low as well. Gangplank not wanting to throw that ult out just yet. And now we see there it is. Look at the damage.
But I think it might be too late, though. It's now the side of Miami Vice in the game. But here comes Basket Bread on the Jarvan. Cataclysm finds 2. Is now 2 dead, but 1 still for the side of the Tanukis. But it's not going to matter. They're on the chase. Mundo is now down. And now just Moby, the lone survivor again. I feel like that's a phrase I said multiple times in this series now. Lone survivor being Moby.
Yeah, either he died well before the fight and he's coming back up, or he's just on the outside. Played the Lulu really well there. Did end up getting Jinx to be able to free fire for a little bit longer, a lot of damage, but now another objective lost after you had all the momentum. Push the inhibitor, go back to the dragon, set up a death bush, whatever you have to do, but instead they tried to end the game. Got a little bit too antsy there, and now GCCE with a little bit of momentum in their favor, they cut the gold lead down to 3.2K.
Yeah, man, I feel like 5K gold lead for the side of Miami Vice is a curse. This is the second time in this game they built one up, and then they turn around and throw it away. Like, I don't get it. I guess 5 is not the lucky number at all. It's they got the Powerball? Oh, what we gonna call this? What we call this, man?
Just the curse of five, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, no,
30
it's
minutes
definitely the
in.
opposite of it.
Yeah. 30 minutes in, the gold lead will start to matter a little bit less and less depending on who has the gold. This Vayne will eventually catch up. But I will say this, Trey on this Jinx has been doing a really good job of just getting the Runons, being able to fire back. And Miami Vice has done a really good job for the most part of keeping them alive. The problem is they all stood inside the Rumble ult after taking the GP ult. They were all low. They need to learn when to back off.
I just want to point out too, though. I know you said that Vayne's gonna eventually catch back up. Keep in mind, Vayne has 3 items now.
Mm-hmm.
Terminus is completed. She's now online. This is an armed and dangerous AD carry now. These fights can be turned on their head very swiftly. But we see what Ikigui can get done. Because a lot of these fights, though, he's been caught out on the side.
Yeah, and both of the ADCs kind of doing what they want to do and getting away with it, but they eventually Vayne will be able to outscale as long as she can get in there. If Jinx can stay far back and get all the damage from the outside, but Ikigui wants to get in there. He wants to get inside, wants to be able to hit, wants to be able to, cause some chaos in the back line going invisible. So 2 different styles, but both actually executing really well as the fight breaks out.
We got a fight started as DT Dub. He did find the hook onto Renegade. Gameplay Ultimate will utilize Cataclysm used on Renegade, but Renegade's going to be able to flash out. Not Renegade flash out, but you get the point. It was a Spirit Rush. But for the side of Tanukis, there was ambitious look for a kill. Now they're chasing iGang. And no ultimate for the Mordecai, so it should be a free kill. Vayne gets 4 kills of the game.
Yeah, and that's one of those feel bad moments. You pull the target that you want into the realm, but Thresh somehow living in between that, and I can't finish him off. And then after that, you're sitting there and you're like, okay, well, we pulled the Thresh away, but now the rest of our team is getting run down by this Jarvan, by the Gangplank, and by the Vayne. Very well played by DT Dub to stay alive there.
Very well played indeed. But now Noto, again, maximum dosage is available, but here comes the firing squad. They're looking to kill this Mundo as Equalizer being laid down. Urmeshi is pretty low, but Noto doesn't matter when Ikigui is online on this Vayne and just shredding you now. Oh, Jinx Rocket hits his mark, baby. Touchdown. Wide receiver play, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase action right there. I love it.
Yeah, you don't have to hit them all, and she definitely hasn't, but you hit the one that matters, and now with Urameshi off the board, this Baron looks like it can be taken by Miami Vice. They get a little lucky. The long scope ult coming out from the Jinx, and now they need to turn their attention here, but they need to do it quick before GCCE can react.
And keep in mind, it could look at this Baron. I mean, Rumble is down for a little bit still, but iGang looking for some booty instead as Basket is on the run. Ghost was utilized.
Uh-oh.
iGang is going to get Basket into the Death Realm again. Cataclysm being used, but Basket, he's kind of in there for the long haul. He's going to find himself in Valhalla.
Yeah, terrible decision to take the flag and drag there to go in. Yeah, you got to stay away from him. You as the Jarvan cannot fight him. If that was Vayne, potentially maybe being able to CC him into a wall or whatever, but you can't contend with this Mordekaiser, and now both of your damage dealers have to pray that they can do something, but they can't. So now you just gave away a free Baron because you wanted to be aggressive onto the Mord.
I mean, Basket just not having a good game with this Jarvan. This go around 2-8-11. I mean, iGang, what they answered with Mordekaiser.
Yeah, and building the Serpent. Yeah, I don't know if I really like the Serpent's Fang on this one. I know that they have a lot of shields and stuff, but you shouldn't be the damage. You're supposed to Cataclysm and hold them off so you can get 3 AoE ults in there. So iGank is way too far ahead for you to be able to duel him. So I would have liked to have seen maybe some sort of tanky option for this J4. DT Dub getting a taste of his own medicine, getting caught.
Yep, and DT Dub caught out. Trey gets the kill. Now we're looking for more of a fight. Now iGang's going to find Urameshi. Keep in mind that iGang's pretty damn fed at 11-3 now in the game. This man is just bonking everybody upside the head.
Yeah, You just keep getting caught out, right? When one thing goes wrong, another thing goes wrong. They finally started catching Miami Vice out, and they started to slow down the pace of Vice. But then, they just, after making a couple good plays, they make a couple of bonehead decisions, which just turns this game on its head. And Miami Vice is looking to end this now.
Yeah, but it almost to the magic 5K number. Will it be a turnaround on a fight out of nowhere? Because Vayne is still available. So is Jarvan with Cataclysm. And gameplay has it too. As the Flash Charm finds Ikigui, but does not find the kill. As now they're looking to fight. Turn is down. Ikigui almost dead. He will go down. But Basket finds the Ari. Trey gets excited, and Trey gets a double kill, and Trey is looking to end this game with a quadra. No Penta because Rumble is dead. Would they go for the dive? It will be a no.
Oh man, what a turn of events those last 2.5 minutes for Tanukis. You are kicking yourself in the backside the entire time when that's happening. When they go and look at this VOD and they try to, say, hey, where did we go wrong? You can just go straight to, for one, I think Champ Select. I don't really like the GP, even though it did do a lot of damage and he got a little bit up, but you can basically fast forward to 30 minutes of this game and then just say like, okay, well, we clawed our way back. We made the best of bad situations. We did what we could. And then just gave it away one time after another. So well played to both of these teams. It was an exciting series, but Miami Vice moving on to first place for the playoffs. If I could look into my crystal ball, I think we're going to see these two teams face off again.
So depending on where they end up at on the side of the brackets too, could be a finals, could be a quarters. Who knows? Hopefully. And I mean, hopefully, maybe a finals. Might be exciting if we see these two teams in the game in the best of 5. But then again, I haven't really been around, so I haven't really seen much of the other teams. So it could have another team that's fascinating to watch. Might be even more aggressive. Who knows?
If the other teams are watching, you now have a formula how to beat Tanukis. You saw it with the first one. They do eventually make mistakes in their team fighting, and you can out team fight them. And then the second one is put them on their back foot. This game 3, from the get-go, Mundo pushed in, Jinx pushed in, Ari pushed in. So, and as well as he's done on this entire season, Basket Bread, when all of his lanes are behind and being pushed in, he just he wasn't able to really do much until he started finding success on a flashless Mundo in the top. But every time he did that, Miami Vice was there on the other side of the map making plays.
All right, well, if you had to name an MVP of the series, who would you put?
iGank, 100%. What he did to make Basket Bread look like any other jungler was insane. This Mordekaiser in game 3 just took over this game about as hard as Pandorum did in the mid lane. Had they won this, I would have said for Tanukis that Pandorum, because game 1 and game 2, he was absolutely insane. But GP, even with all the damage, just didn't really pull it out. So for the winners, iGank, very well played on this jungle.
I definitely have to agree with you, man. This has been I don't know. iGank had a fantastic game 3, but Pandorum, man, game 2 was insane. And in game 1, he kept finding these setups to help get the enemy members of Tanukis caught out.
Yeah, so
I am so sorry. I am tripping. Wrong team. Okay, forgive me. The moment I said that, I realized I am stupid. But it's been a long day for me in particular. So excuse me on that one. But I digress.
Yeah. Now Renegade played really well, but I don't think that he would have gotten as far ahead or had the open looks without iGank. Basically taking any carry or any important person out of the game with the Mordekaiser ult. He also, on a champion that doesn't have a lot of gank pressure, especially early on, kind of slow, no actual lockdown CC, did really well. Everything he did in this game worked. And games 1 and 2 on the Jarvan was always there, was always trying to push the tempo, always trying to get everything. So my vote for the MVP of the series is iGank.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like I said, that was a dumb moment for me. I know that is my apologies for saying that. But hey, like I said, first game of the season. I haven't really watched it. I've been up quote vacation for Murk. So everybody spare me a rant. I know Banter is gonna probably not let me live that one down.
No worries, man. And thank you so much for filling in today on Last Second. You and Last Revant. Thank you so much for both of you guys stepping in on this super important, last game of the regular season for both of these teams. My name is Fel, along with Ghost and Last Revan. Thank you to everybody that tuned in and had the banter in the chat. Appreciate you guys. We will see you next time.
Blinding lights, lost in your eyes, feeling the pressure. You and I